a smile. Now the sunshine brings the light. Fill me out with a flame. I will let you in this game. Take me out when I'm down. 'Cause with you I'm safe and sound. 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 I'm safe and
Hello, everybody, and welcome to... The camera's a mess. Welcome to Longer and Harder, the show where we take a subject and we go deeper. I have a special guest with me today, again. Today, after yesterday's quickie with Paul and Morgan, I decided we should do more Paul and Morgan because they are amazing. So I figured, what better way to tackle an obnoxious couple than with another obnoxious couple? So we're gonna be an obnoxious couple on the internet, talking about an obnoxious couple on the internet. So yes, R&D finally did get his pants on. It took a while. So hello everybody. We'll go over to, bam, right there. All important stuff. Welcome. Hello, WF6I. How are you doing? Hello, Factor and Adrian, and hello, Majapecha, and hello, Sean. Sorry, I should probably put this so you can read.
I can't really read from there. Okay.
Yeah. Hello, Big Brother, and hello, everybody else. Whoever I missed. I know Gio was in there in A&A. Hello, Darth Killer. So yeah, we're gonna talk exclusively today about Paul and Morgan. That is the plan. Is to I have a bunch of videos picked out for Paul and Morgan, that they've made, and we figured we'd go through them. But we'll get there in a second. Housekeeping. Is there any housekeeping? I don't think there's housekeeping. I think we're good. R&D giving us 10 thick inches of pure hard logic. That's how we do things. 10 inches of logic all the time. So I don't think there's housekeeping. I think everything's on schedule to be on schedule. So, beer of the week. We have an American Brown Ale by Boulevard Brewing Company. And that's about all I know about it. I bought a pack, like a variety pack from them. What did the Devil's Triangle have to do with it? Go look up what a Devil's Triangle is, and
I thought by now everyone knew.
Does nobody know what a Devil's Triangle is?
It's a drinking game,
Still no weed. I'm disappointed. Too bad. Yeah, it is a drinking game, guys. Devil's Triangle is a drinking game.
Has nothing to do with a sex position or anything.
No, it's
dirty.
nothing sexual on a quickie ever. Would I make a sexual joke during a quickie? What's the thing that Paul does? Mm-hmm.
I got a kick out of that.
I do. Housekeeping. You don't have enough Necco maids. We do need more. All right. So, American Brown Ale. Yes. So I got this out of a variety pack, like from Boulevard, and then they give you like 2 beers that are exclusive to their tasting room. Which this is one of them. I don't think you can like buy a 6-pack of it. I think either you go buy it at the brewery or you go buy it in this variety pack. So I got 2 of these. My wife and I each have one, and we'll give it a try. There's nothing else about it. What kind of font is that on the beer? I don't know. That's a great font on the label.
Oh,
it looks like kind of scratch.
I think someone wrote it.
I think so.
I don't know.
Oh, that's good.
I probably shouldn't have tried this after I brushed my teeth.
Probably not.
Oh shoot, I ruined it.
It's pretty good. It's malty. It's pretty smooth. Not a lot of bitter. Not a lot of bitter at all. I love it. I think it's great. But I love most of Boulevard stuff, so, here we go again talking about Boulevard because every time. It looks like a 5th grade graffiti on it. Does, doesn't it? So, so yeah, not bad. I like it. I like it. It's good. It's good. All right, so for today, we have, I gotta get things opened up in other places. We have our video. You want to read the video options? You can.
That's okay.
You don't want to read?
Not at the moment. Sorry, guys. I'm nursing a hangover. So
yeah, we're
my brain is kind of like, I was in mid-sentence earlier. What?
Yeah, we went out last night with friends, and may have had a little bit too much fun, so my hair's sticking out.
It would have all been fine until one of them brought over their homemade limoncello, and that was it.
That was the best. It was so good.
It was great.
I did like it. It's just kicking our ass. You are weak. We are weak.
Yes.
Why is Kansas City in Missouri and not in Kansas? It's actually in Kansas too.
Yeah.
They're right next to each other. It's great.
It's on the border, and they have their own section, and it's funny. how that works, but it works. So you can be in both states at once if you really wanted.
To cure a hangover, oysters. I've heard the
we
oysters
know where we
thing.
can get oysters
We
now.
do. I'm not.
Are they
I'm
open
still
on
they're
Sunday?
French.
Oh.
I'm still annoyed at the French
Well,
oysters.
you have a little travel hot sauce thing.
That's
Just
true.
take that with you and steal their lemons.
It's true. Americans are weird. We are weird. Not gonna lie about that. We are kind of weird.
Yeah, we own it though, I think.
You didn't drink and drive, did you? I mean,
We waited. I don't know.
bacon is good as well. Bacon is good. I had bacon. I made some bacon and eggs. So we might be a little rough around the edges. I'm trying to get this.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Trying to get this video menu to like move to where I want. There we go. So I can read it. There we go. Now we can all read it. Okay. Video menu for today are all exclusively Paul and Morgan videos. So I picked out 5 that's had the most hilarious thumbnails / titles in it. So
They were just too good to resist.
yeah, so we picked these, figured why not. So we have being friends with non-Christians. They're going to give us some advice on that. Christian guys on modesty because Christian guys get to tell the ladies how to dress and not the other way around.
Not the other way around. We tried.
So that'll be great. Christians on LGBTQ.
I'm sure that will bring up some controversial ideas.
Yeah, like
that.
people who sleep around with other kinds of people are somehow, the same as us, and we shouldn't care. So controversial. Practical tips for staying pure in your relationship.
What? You can do it again. Where did he go? What did he say?
And then overcoming depression, which is probably going to be the saddest one, so don't pick it. I think that would be the one that makes me the most angry, because I'm pretty sure overcoming depression is going to be like, pray for it, and there's nothing like medically wrong with your brain, which is terrible
Maybe go
advice.
to a Christian counselor, which essentially will just tell you the same thing.
Yeah,
So,
just pray on it.
Yeah.
Oh.
I knew some not Christian counselors. I knew people from my college who wanted to be Christian counselors, and I really wish I had asked them more about what they were being taught to do, which I don't know. I think it really is just the same thing. You need to pray, you need to trust God more and stuff like that. That doesn't really help.
Yeah,
or
a lot
address
of it
the
doesn't.
problem.
I'm not. There's
It just
usually
says you're a problem.
That's true. There's usually the friend who we went out to dinner last night has actually talked to me about this a few times, because as you know, I work in the medical field, and so we get to talk about sorts of medical. We were talking about HIPAA, which is the rules, the federal laws that protect personal health information from patients and whatnots. And so we were talking about something similar, but in the military, because he works in he works in IT, and he does like intelligence stuff. So he gathers information about like what people on base are Googling, right? Like what they Google, and to sort of, he does a couple things, make sure that no one's a terrorist is one of them. But one of the things he comes up with is he sees things like people looking up like, how do I deal with depression, or how do I deal with a divorce, or how do I deal with this. So he sees a lot of those searches come up, and I guess his whole thing is like, I'd like to be like, maybe you should go get some help for that, but he really can't because HIPAA and maybe not HIPAA. So it's kind of weird. And then he's also, one of the things we talked about is in the military, how much you're discouraged from actually getting real psychological help while you're in the military. And you're not like discouraged as in like they tell you not to do it, but the moment that you go get real psychological help and not just, talk to somebody, but actually go get prescriptions and whatnots, it goes on your record. And so they look at that for promotions. They're like, oh, this guy had to go see a shrink or had to have medications, and so you're less likely to get a promotion. And so instead they go to counselors a lot, and they go to what are the chaplains, military chaplains a lot, for who aren't trained to deal with this. They're just trained to, like, they're supposed to be,
Give you
your
a pep
spiritual.
talk?
Yeah, they're supposed to be your spiritual advisors. They had nothing to do with with actual depression and like medical issues. And so they end up going to them because that doesn't end up on your record, going to talk to a chaplain, but going to talk. So you're encouraged to not deal with your problem and instead go to religion to deal with your problem. It's awful.
Didn't they talk about something like that at the humanist thing that we went to a couple years ago?
He's dealt with that too, because that's a big problem in the military, that they don't really let you do that. Okay. So, all right. So there's that talk. I should actually check the poll, how we're doing on the poll. Come here, poll. Results. What do y'all want to watch today? We have, we're tied.
We are very tied.
We're very tied, guys. We're tied on 1, 2, and 5. So, being friends with non-Christians, Christian guys on modesty, and overcoming depression are all evenly tied. So somebody in the chat has to go vote now and untie that. Otherwise, we're gonna sit here and just not talk about any of them. Ooh, there we go. There's that winning votes for being friends with non-Christians. So one of the reasons, besides the fact that I thought it would be hilarious to be an obnoxious couple on the internet, one of the other reasons that I asked my wife if she wanted to be part of this is you have a history with being Christian. Mm-hmm. So you were kind of angry when I was showing you the video. Do you want to explain your history about being Christian so everyone has a context to...
I mean, that's a really long story.
Condense it a little bit.
I'm a rambler, but I'll try. So yeah, I did grow up Christian, and I did, didn't really get the whole gist of what the whole Christian faith was until I was in high school. And up until my freshman year of high school, I thought Jesus died and rose again 3 times. And yeah, see, I didn't pay that much attention in Sunday school for the kiddos. I really didn't. I just wanted the snacks that came with after all the Bible studies and the sermon and everything. But I really hated getting dressed up when I was a kid, so I didn't like church. But then a friend invited me to a few Bible studies, and then I started attending another church to go to their youth group and all that, and that's when I became saved, I guess. And I attended that church for a few years, and then I also, went on mission trips and all sorts of things like that. And I will say, I did learn a lot of good things from being in that community, but they definitely overshadowed what the bad things about it were. And of course, I didn't really realize any of it until you influenced me.
I'm a bad influence is how it turns out.
Is it really bad? I mean, look how I turned out. I don't, I don't believe in a lot of things that were considered a horrible sin anymore.
That's true.
But then I also went to a Christian college in California and, figured that that's going to be my life. I'm going to be a Christian for the rest of my life. And to be honest, I did go to this college, not just to get an education, but, I was really hoping to find a Christian man, and then I would, be a happy little Christian housewife to a nice Christian man. And then that didn't work out, and then, things worked out for the better, though.
There we go.
And then, of course, about, 6 months later after graduating, I became an atheist because you finally helped me realize that everything that I was taught was just a man-made invention. That religion is just a man-made... Hello, what is that?
It's boobs. Somebody
someone
donated.
Ah!
Yeah. Thank you, NANA. Thank you very much. When we talk about Christianity, we get boobs.
I mean, you kind of get that anyway.
That's true.
They do pop up. In any kind of conversation you have. Somehow boobs get thrown in there. Just not in the context that you think.
I didn't know I was supposed to be looking for Jesus. Yeah. Welcome to the we got to find Jesus. He's been lost for a while, I suppose.
I know.
We should just stick him on the back of milk cartons.
People are looking for him, but
milk cartons. That's the problem. No one's stuck a picture of him in the back of milk cartons.
Well, honey, I thought by now anyone would have thought about that, but you must be a genius.
So yeah, so you were kind of super Christian and wanted to do the marrying thing.
The whole marrying thing, I definitely did. I mean, I majored in family and consumer sciences, so absolutely. When that department is taught with a Christian basis for it, yeah, you're given a lot of lectures about marriage every single day. So that was our main topic throughout my entire education was marriage. But you know, there were other topics too, but that was definitely the main point. So
all right,
that was it.
Cool beans. All right, so it looks like being friends with the non-Christians won out. So we get to learn all sorts of fun advice about that. About what what do they have to say to us? All right.
Okay.
Let's get this party. Oh, you are super loud. I know.
What's up?
I don't know what's
What is
wrong
he
with
on?
her. I don't know. But he's got to share with the rest of the class. Even she looks like she's not happy with it.
She looks a bit like, okay, a little much.
Tone it down. She looks better you look better without glasses, Morgan. Gotta say, those glasses are not very flattering.
Well, I don't know why the whole geek glasses came into trend a few years ago. Do you?
I don't know. I
think some hot model decided to put them on for a photo shoot, and suddenly, that's the pair of glasses everyone has to have.
Who that on the video? Who that be this? Which question? Hi, Sean.
Hi.
How are you? Sean, if you're asking who this is my wife. This is Mrs. R&D, and we are watching Paul and Morgan today. Oh no, we're not, because I haven't actually switched it over. We're still watching the video menu. I am awful at this. We're sitting here talking about them, and no.
You're the tech guy. I don't know what you're doing.
Right, I haven't even set this up. I am terrible. We're gonna have to rewatch. You're gonna have to rewatch. What's his face? Paul being weird, so that everyone else knows what we're talking about. Yeah, he's being weird. He's maniacally cackling for some.
What's up?
Yeah, that's. Yeah. Quiet. 3 hangouts in the last week is quiet, I guess. Who's quiet? Oh, Sean Hufford being quiet. He is smoking something. What is he not sharing? I know, right? He's got to be on something. He
must have taken a few puffs before he started recording.
He's high on the love of Jesus.
She's trying to probably be the sort of person who's just, no, I'm not going to admit on my channel that he's on things. That's just not our way.
Yeah, that's true. She might be on it too. She might just be like
I don't know. We
trying to be the sober one.
We can watch some more and find out.
Why would he smoke weed when he can drink wheat? Drink wheat? I don't know. He's some you and your wheat beers. I don't know. I think you're full of shit on wheat beers, Gio. Because I don't know. It's just wheat. It seems kind of boring.
Oh, I see.
I don't know. To me, it does.
You've been spoiled by Lucky Bucket and all their fun flavors.
I have. All right, here we go. Oops. Nope. I can't press buttons today. I can't.
Is that the same video?
Nope. R&D can't press buttons.
Huh.
You're gonna have to listen to it one more time, just for funsies. Yep.
What's up, guys? How you doing? I'm Paul.
I'm Morgan.
And this is
The
Paul and Morgan, the Paul and Morgan
Show.
Show.
God, they do that every time.
Do they?
I
don't
know.
Little jingle?
That is awful. We should have a jingle.
It sounds like it's a work in progress. I might give them that. But
That's true.
They should do the work in progress not on their videos, just in private. Please. Creep me out. Are we sure we want to watch them? They're kind of weirding me out.
They're always weird though. We could have our own.
No.
The Mrs. and that doesn't.
The Mr.
The R&D.
Mrs.
No.
R&D
Nope.
show?
I regret the decisions to make it. Nope. I regret all my decisions.
The Mr. and Mrs. R&D show? That's cute. I love it.
Nope. They have a
No,
PM
it's
wall
okay.
decoration.
We don't have to. Huh?
There's a Peter Pan poster behind them. Yeah. Well, they like their Peter Pan, and they had
Oh,
PM,
it is.
which honestly we have one of those letter
yeah.
signs. Except that ours is made out of corks because we're alcoholics. So
And wine was also our theme for our wedding, so
Because we're
even more
alcoholics.
proof. Yeah, that we're alcoholics.
so
It's not a problem until you can't afford it. Isn't that what you keep telling me, sweetie?
That's true. Oh goodness.
Just drink some more and
Drink all.
continue.
I'm like halfway through my first beer. I feel like I should be pacing myself a little
We
bit
should
better.
be. And we should also keep watching.
Today's video, being friends with non-Christians. We went through a lot of different title options, and we settled on that. We actually asked our patrons about it, and they said,
go for it, you sickos.
what? They did not call us sickos. That's weird you would say that.
I don't know what
Way
else
to be real with your wife.
They have patrons. They do. They actually
Oh
a
yeah, they
fairly
do.
big
And
channel.
they also have merchandise.
Yeah, they're like
you see that?
62,000 subscribers or something
Oh,
like that.
that much?
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm.
Well,
I need to send you some
tightly
wheat
knit
beer.
Christian community.
Yeah. Do you send me some wheat beer? You can convince me that wheat beer isn't crap, but you gotta put some effort into that. As I'm not gonna go buy wheat beer. I don't actually think we make wheat beer here, because it's always yeah.
Sure we don't.
I don't think we do. Oh, there's probably a German style one somewhere. I feel like we had
I'm
a German
sure
style
there
beer
is. There's a
somewhere.
lot of German restaurants and German influence.
I bet
in
if we went to
Omaha.
Wisconsin, we could get some.
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure about Omaha.
Definitely.
Omaha seems like they have more fun than Germans, so I doubt they'd make wheat beer. But, that's Nebraska. They
off
seem too
topic.
happy. I don't like them. We're off topic. Have you seen my show? That is like the topic of the show is being off topic. I've been thinking about making merch. Just 2 shirts with 2 pics of Himawari 8 right over the pecs. I like that. That would be awesome, Sean. So Sean Hufford, I think I've told you about. He's the dude who's got boobs. So he wants a picture of the globe on the pecs.
Oh neat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I actually like that idea. We like that idea, Sean. Do it, Sean.
Yeah.
But I don't know if the Himawari 8 pictures are copyrighted or not. So you might need to have some like artistic interpretations of them.
Oh yeah.
Potentially. I don't know. Garfunkel, oh, God's Loophole. What's that? Is that a song? They're high-end Jesus. Huh.
Maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
There's that one song that is like a one toke over the line, Sweet Jesus, but they don't really realize what a toke is.
Oh, that's a great. There's a great. What show was that? That variety show. That old variety show. Shit.
It was on a variety show?
Yeah.
Oh.
So. Oh, now I have to look at. Now I have to try to figure out. There's an old American variety show where they'd have people show up and like do performance variety shows. So they'd sing or whatever. And one of them there's I think it's like Gale and Dale. It's like it's a couple that have like
Gale and Dale.
Yeah, they have like stupidly similar names, right?
Oh.
Not the Gong Show. And pretty much the guy, the host, introduces it, and he's all like, he introduces songs like, we're gonna have Gale and Dale here to sing us a Christian inspirational, and they sing One Toke Over the Line, and it's amazing.
It's
like
beautiful.
super serious. This couple is like super serious about their.
Oh, they were.
They like about singing
I
One Toke
remember
Over the
they were
Line.
they had a very spiritual
Oh, yeah.
reverence in their facial expressions.
Oh yeah,
It was
big
was
like
adorably
smile,
sad.
and they're wearing like, God, the goofiest outfits in the world. Gale and Dale. Gale and Dale, One Toke Over the Line. I'm pretty sure if you Google that, you'll figure it out. But it's some sort of American variety show. Star Search, no. It's an old variety. God, now I'm gonna have to look it up when I get a chance. We'll try to look up Gale and Dale. I'm pretty sure it's Gale and Dale. One Toke Over the Line. And yeah, One Toke Over the Line, Sweet Jesus. One toke over the line. I love it.
I don't know how the rest of it goes, but now I kind of want to look up the lyrics.
It's like sitting at the train stop. It's about it's about a kid or somebody just being high at a train stop. And then they talk about being a little bit too high with the toke. So the Gong Show. I don't think it's the Gong Show. It's somebody's name. It's like Peter Franklin Show or the Franklin Miller Show or the something. It's someone's name. I remember that. It's someone's name / show. Oh, neighbors are yelling. Those neighbors. I know. That's what I say about them being too.
And they always are like, we never make that much noise. We never yell. We don't have a lot of drama in our apartment.
That's a lie. That's a lie.
Anyway.
Okay. So, I will look up that show and maybe try to find the video and link it in a little bit. But, yeah, I'll have to find it.
So, as you can see, Morgan and I are both coming. We're feeling good. We're feeling alive and ready to take on a topic.
Sorry, she made these big eyes. It's like, you guys are so high right now. You gotta be there.
Make our channel crash and burn. I'm kidding. We've already had way
You think
other
he's
topics.
so funny.
They do.
That's so cute. You laugh at all his jokes. Sorry, I thought I heard you say something. I figured I should laugh.
No, it reminds me because we had this conversation about how I think I'm way too funny.
Oh, yeah.
And I just sit around and make stupid jokes and you
you
don't
make
laugh.
a stupid joke and I just sit there and then you start tearing up and getting all red.
I know.
And I mean, it's
'Cause I'm
cute.
fucking hilarious.
I know, but I really need to videotape you laughing, but you already know how you are when you laugh.
I do. Oh, goodness. Oh.
I love you, sweetie.
Oh, way worse. That could have made our channel crash and burn.
And it hasn't. So, guys, if you're new here, we are making Christian advice videos on life, love, and dating to help you have hope.
And be free.
So subscribe. So this is the second video in our 2-part series. Make sure you've gone and watched the first one.
There's a 2-part series?
You watch them out of order, that's fine. But make sure you watch it. It's being friends with boys or with guys. I think that was a good video we made. But this is part...
Oh, is that directed towards women?
I guess.
On being friend. Oh, yeah, that reminds me of this one class in home ec. I think it was shoot, what was the title of that class? It was like women in profession. I forget. It was something about women in the professional world, something like that. And my professor, she wanted to talk about how guys are not really meant to be friends with girls and vice versa, because that's just not how you were created. You're created to really just be, have relationships with your father and with your future husband, but it's really hard for men and women to just be friends with each other because there's going to be some sort of attraction that you'll probably never get to have, and the both of you will get married to other people, and it'll just make things very, it will just make things more complicated. And I butted in. That was like one of the very few times that I actually spoke up in the middle of class, because I was a very quiet student and I would never speak up. But I raised my hand and I said, I'm actually friends with a guy, and I've been friends with him since 8th grade. And we're still very close. I just saw him a few weeks ago. And I just wanted her to stop talking. But then I started feeling like, well, maybe I should be honest and actually just at least say that my guy friend is gay. And of course, there's not going to be any, complications in our relationship. And I said it, and then she just kind of had she had two different expressions on her face, if that's possible. But the first one was kind of a, see, I'm right, but also it was concern, like, you're friends with who? Mm-hmm. Like, I can never win. No. So anyway, that just reminded me of that. I'm very interested to see what their take is on that sort of thing, which I'm sure it's quite similar. But we'll see. I
don't know. I guess I'm also amazed that people think you can't have other gendered friends and not have sex with them.
I mean, the whole dynamic of friendship in the Christian community is quite amazing. So,
well, that might be worth.
Just so much.
Maybe we'll watch it some other time. All right. Wait, a sexually frustrated guy is giving friendship advice to women? Yeah, not creepy at all. I know. I kind of hope we actually make it all the way through this video, because I really want to watch the modesty one.
Yes.
Like that one, the fact that there's 2 dudes on screen gonna tell ladies what to wear or not to wear is I find hilarious. Having two different expressions on your face is only possible if you had a stroke before. This is Rhetoric and Discourse.
Huh.
Yeah, there you go. Half your face.
I get, well, no, she didn't have a stroke. So I'm just imagining it.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, maybe it was like, oh, see, I'm right. Wait, who are you talking about? You're friends with who? So maybe it was, one after the other.
Part 2, a lot of you all have asked for this video. I think you guys are coming at it from a good spot. Like, I have these non-Christian friends. I love my non-Christian friends. I want to share the gospel with them and show them God's love. But at the same time, I think there probably should be boundaries. What should the boundaries be?
What boundaries?
I don't know. So one of the things, maybe we could. I'm actually very curious about the boundaries. But one of the things that I always find hilarious, and not from a Christian perspective, because I think I would find it weird to be friends with somebody who I think is damned to hell. Like,
well, I mean, it's so easy to think about that about someone else when you're not close to them. It's so easy, but once you actually start getting to know them, I feel like once you start getting to know someone, it's like, that person can't be going to hell. That person's a nice person.
Yeah.
So that's just one thing that I know I struggled with, because I had a lot of atheist friends and friends who were not part of the Christian community, such as, they were part of other religions too. And, I would hear other people from the Christian community saying things like, well, all of these people in this one group they're all going to hell, so be praying for their salvation and be, preaching to them whenever you can, or not preaching, evangelizing. But I just kept thinking, well, my friend who's gay isn't going to hell. My friend who goes to temple isn't going to hell. That can't be right, because they do so much good and they're so kind. How can that be a thing?
It doesn't matter how good you are. It just matters what you believe in.
Yeah, I know. Oh, I know. I know.
It is the weirdest shit ever. That I don't understand.
It is. There was just so many questions in my early adulthood. Wait, I'm still a young adult. Mm-hmm. Whatever.
When people tell me they'll pray for me, I say thanks for nothing.
How does that go? How does it work out when they hear that?
Happiness is just for those who were born in the right place. Yeah, it's true. That is, I think it's in the God Delusion or somewhere that Richard Dawkins brings up how, like, the biggest what's it called? The biggest predictor of what religion you're going to be is where you're born. Mm-hmm. That's like, it has nothing to do with anywhere else. If you were born in a Middle Eastern country, you're probably going to be Muslim. Like that's your biggest predictor, is where you are born and nothing else, which already tells you how probably religion is full of shit. So I do find it is kind of funny that unless you happen to be born into a country or an area that was Christian, something that you have no control of, you're gonna go to hell. Which I just find, like, something that you have absolutely no control of is what's gonna send you to hell. Mm-hmm. Not an actual thing that you do. Children usually do not get a choice. They really don't.
No, not when you're being raised by your own, religious parents who want you to go to Sunday school every week. And that comes with a lot of pressure, because, they always want to say, well, you have to come to Jesus by your own choice, by your own volition. But in the meantime, you're going to go to Sunday school. You're going to pray before dinner and before bed. You're going to be doing everything as we do because we make you do it.
Yeah. One of the things, speaking of children and how awful things are, because being depressing is fun. So one of the things and I've talked about my job. I do a lot of behavior training, so I can pretty much give me a kid and I can teach them to do anything you want. I once had a client that was they were Mormon, and they had a kid with on the spectrum who was all over the goddamn place, and one of the things they wanted him to do was to sit at the table and pray with them before dinner, which it was so, like, so unethical. Like this does nothing to help this person, this individual, be, you know, better adjusted to live life, or you know, whatever. It's not a socially significant behavior to pray, and that's what they wanted us to teach. It's like, no, we want them to, you know, sit here quietly, you know, do the thing. That's one of the things I wanted us to teach for a kid on the spectrum who, like, that is the most important thing that they thought they could do. It was gross. I didn't like it. I didn't have to, thankfully, but it was definitely like, that's not a thing. Okay. Hello, Richard. How are you? Thanks for joining us. And hello, Errant Massa. Yeah, Errant Massa. And hello, Jelly Wilkinson. Hello, Harry M. How are you all doing? Hello, Bullwinkle. Oh, we have a Bullwinkle today. All right. All right, we'll keep going here.
We're here to break that down for you.
We're here to tell you what we think.
Why? That, no, don't do that. That is awful. Oh.
I should be. So
I like that.
let's get to it.
Let's get
No,
into
you
it.
shouldn't be.
Okay, wow. Morgan she's unpredictable this video. I apologize if anything crosses the line from her.
Paul and I both believe that you should absolutely embrace opportunities to befriend people who have different beliefs than you.
Okay.
Or just no beliefs at all.
No beliefs at all. I mean, everyone has some type of belief. We believe that it's an opportunity to just be a light in that person's life, and we believe that you know, we can learn things from those people as well.
You can.
But you refuse to, don't you? You dismiss it. You call it the devil's word. The devil is influencing you. That's just what I've been told. That's what I remember being told.
I don't. Yeah. I mean, so and there's some validity to what she's saying, and it's something that I've encouraged other, like, atheists to do. So and it's something not just atheists, but I think it works really well with a lot of other minority groups. So, like, one of the biggest leaps that happened for, like, the gay community was sort of, you know, awareness, like people being out and about, and, you know, having friends that are gay makes it harder for you to be a dick to gay people because you got your friends are gay, right? So once actually, you know, just because let's derail everything. We have a friend of ours who's very, very conservative. He's a very nice guy, though, but still very conservative. And one of the stories he always likes to tell is about his bestie, his best friend, who he did not like at all, did not get along with. And years later, they actually got together, and he's gay, but they started being friends. The friend is gay. And, you know, because of this, because he's got a really good relationship with this one person, he empathizes much better with the gay community, even though he's rather religious and rather conservative. Like, having that one really close gay friend has made him understand that, you know, gay people aren't horrible. They just like to sleep with the same gender or whatever.
I mean, they definitely paint that picture about those in the homosexual community that, you know, they're evil. All they want is to fuck, and fuck the wrong gender, and they're evil, and they're going to hell, and they're a creation of the devil, all that crap. But, you know, like I was saying, once you actually get to know somebody who's a part of this, who has this characteristic or something like that, that is what you consider evil or great sin, I mean, same thing, then your whole perspective actually does change. Yeah. You realize that, well, it's actually, that's not the only thing about this person is their sexual orientation. It's their own character, their personality, their goals and values and all that. So, you know, that's a story that I definitely admire about our friend, is that, you know, he
learned.
He learned.
Yeah, he learned from having a gay friend that, you know, not to be dick to gay people, which is cool. But yeah, so if you're an atheist and you can be open about it, you can be out about it. You don't live, you know, somewhere awful. You know, I always suggest that you do be as out as you can, and, you know, be friends with people who who are Christian, because it's, again, knowing atheists from a Christian perspective and understanding that, hey, they're not, atheists aren't baby eating people, it's good. It helps the atheist minority group get a little bit of normalization. So that's always good. So they're not wrong on their perspective, except for the fact that Christians aren't a minority and they don't really need normalization. Like, that's the one part I would disagree with. Like, it's not like nobody knows what a Christian is, or people think that Christians are awful people. Especially, I'm assuming they're Americans because I'm an American, so I think everyone else is American because America.
I mean, Canadians also speak with an American accent.
They speak French. What are you talking about?
Not all of them.
What?
Yeah.
That's a lie.
They don't.
No. So yeah. So I mean, I'm assuming they look like they're probably American, or at least some sort of Western,
Sure,
country. Yeah. So chances are they live in a part of the world where Christianity isn't a minority group, where Christianity is the norm. So for them to, that's the one thing that says that about them that's a little weird, that they think that it's not like you need to normalize Christianity. It is unfortunately the norm. Do I speak with an American accent? I would love to hear you with an American accent. I think that'd be hilarious. No, you don't. You definitely speak with a foreigner accent. I can't quite place it though, Gio. I can't quite place it. All right. Listen to a little bit more, and then I think it might be break time because I'm almost out of beer.
I mean, the Bible says, "Be in the world and not of the world." Like, we are in the world. Unless God is calling you to a life of like monkhood or seclusion, like, we're gonna be around people that don't have the same faith as we do. So it's, how do you balance that? Because there is a balance. There's a wise balance. The Bible says, how will they believe if they have not heard? And how will they hear if we do not go to them?
Wait, and now I'm just being nitpicky because there's definitely a sect of Christianity who's like doesn't care if you've heard it or not. Like, if you've heard of Christianity, because it's been brought up, like the Cy Tenbergen-Cates, the Jordan Petersons of the world, who think that everyone's a Christian, and they know it in their they already know it, like they know it in their hearts or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
But God put it in their hearts or something.
I think that's common grace, isn't it?
Whatever.
I'm trying to remember what the Bible classes that I took at college were. I think that's called common grace.
So there is that. So I guess they don't. I didn't actually realize that was a contradiction, that the Bible actually says that.
Oh, I know. They have to make up an excuse for everything.
Huh. Yeah, I didn't know that. Huh.
Mm-hmm.
They also say everyone is born a Muslim. Yeah, sure. I pick a religious group, and I'm pretty sure you could be like, everyone is born into our religious group. They just aren't admitting it, or they're hiding it, or they're going against the word of God, or whatever. There's definitely a lot of Christians.
That means that God chose you either way, but they also say, no, God selected you. He chose you because he loves you. Like, but that contradicts the common grace thing, because then that means everybody's chosen and you ain't special. I'm confused here.
When everyone's
Here's
super, nobody's super.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. All right.
So there's obviously a place for being friends with non-believers, for going out and reaching the lost. It's interesting because
We're lost.
Put my picture on a milk box.
Guys, we're lost. I know that they're just like being whatever they're themselves, but at the same time, it's like you guys are kind of being guys are kind of talking down to us, and I don't appreciate it. But like, we're not lost.
No, we're fine. We're probably happier than you are.
Yeah, we don't have weird rules about sex like you do. So
yeah, we're not sexually repressed.
Yeah,
so
that is really sad. I was hoping we because I want to talk about sex.
My God, that was just one of the worst.
Oh, I can imagine.
It was.
There's been some really terrible stories out there, especially women, because women get sort of the
short.
I was gonna say the shaft,
whatever.
but then I realized they don't because sexual
They,
frustration.
of course they don't.
So
That's
a problem.
point.
So yeah, no, they usually get the raw deal there, but there's definitely been a lot of stories about like women who don't know what sex is supposed to be like, and they just sort of deal. There's one story I heard. I think it was an NPR about this woman who like she didn't have because they never had like a real sex talk, and her whole life she was she was given a sex talk, but it was the Christian sex talks about how sex is awful and evil.
You're
and
supposed to be submissive but
Yeah.
pleasing.
But pleasing and all that stuff, that she was actually terrified of sex for like years. Even after she got married, she didn't like sex. She hated it, but still gave it to her husband because she was a good wife. And it wasn't until she became like she left the church that she like started actually like talking to other women about what sex is supposed to be like and all that, and how it's just
No, it's not supposed to be horrible.
yeah, it's not supposed. Imagine that, but you know, how would you know if nobody ever told you and you only ever had sex with one person? Like, which I just find awful. Once one or the other brings up the topic, it starts to fall apart as one will try to impose views on the other. The only Bumble Thumper and non-believer can be long-term friends. In my experience, religion never becomes part of the conversation. It's true. I could see that. Our friend, the one who's super conservative, we get along fine. We've had the religion talk
Yeah, we did.
handful of times, but it
But
really doesn't.
It's rare though.
It
I
is
mean, it's
rare.
become more and more rare because we just accepted.
Yeah.
You know.
Same thing with politics. We rarely talk about politics.
No, you
Probably
talk
because-
about politics more than religion.
Yeah.
I'm there for most
that's
of
true.
those to listen, but either way.
Yeah. Yeah, so, what's going on, fuckfaces? Hey, Micro, how are you? Welcome to the stream. We're talking about Paul and Morgan today. We're actually, you might have shown up right around break time because I'm way out of beer, so.
You are way out of beer.
Okay, I'm going to listen to a little bit more, and then I got to go get another beer. And
Okay.
so, okay.
Like the idea of reaching the lost, and then just the idea of being friends, almost like not even, and you had mentioned this earlier, not always really pushing the gospel, like, oh, I'm just friends with this person to push the gospel on them, but genuinely being friends with them. I think there's also kind of like a balance there. Any thoughts?
I guess we'll get to the thoughts on it a little in a sec here. But I don't know. I'd agree with Sean on that one about probably if you're, well, I don't know, maybe because I was more dickish with you, because we had a lot of conversations about religion.
Yeah, when we were dating.
When we were dating.
Yeah. Well, it was like my main thing.
Yeah,
It's
that's
fine.
true. You did bring it up a lot. I brought it up.
Sure
a lot
I did.
too.
Yeah, and you did. Well, when we were dating, when we first started dating, you were actually Catholic.
Yes.
So
I
we were
was.
talking about the differences between
We
that.
did. We talked about religion when we
Yeah.
first met.
Yeah.
Huh. Kind of forgot about that. Yeah,
you
like
were,
that was
you
like
were
the
a
first.
Catholic, and you were telling me about how the I don't know, the Immaculate Conception of Mary or something.
Huh.
I don't know, something, or the Trinity. No, I forget.
I don't know.
I forget. That
Fucking-
was almost 10
Catholicism
years
is weird. Like, it really is very odd.
Mm-hmm.
It's it's very pantheistic religion. It's super weird.
Well, all
Thinking-
religion.
Well, it's it's really pantheistic. It's really weird. Like I know Christianity kind of is with its three whatever's, the Trinity.
Yeah, the Trinity.
But like, Catholicism has like saints for absolutely everything.
Yeah, you
and
have saints,
you
you
get-
have relics.
Yeah, no, it's definitely like D&D gone wild in real life. It's crazy. Because you have all this. You have like saints for stuff, and it's kind of weird. It's very much reminds me of.
Was the Holy Grail a Catholic thing?
I don't know.
What is the Holy?
I feel like it probably is. That would
I
make
know.
sense.
I'm just remembering some other
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's kind of weird.
ritual cannibalism.
Yeah. That's so technically in Catholicism the wafer cookie thing.
Oh yeah, the
turns
wafer cookie.
into
yeah,
the
and
flesh of
Yeah,
God.
and the blood.
It
is the
literally
wine.
turns into the flesh of.
Which is, we would definitely, as Christians, we would definitely look at Catholics and go, "You're weird for believing that." But we did communion too.
I don't
We just said
think
it was symbolic.
Yeah.
It's just like either way.
The funniest part though is that they had to make the Catholic Church had to start making gluten-free wafers for people with celiac diseases and not celiac disease.
So now Jesus is also comes in gluten-free form.
Well, yeah, and which is interesting because if it was actual flesh, it wouldn't, like, it doesn't have any gluten in it, and like technically it turns into.
I don't know. He did make a lot of bread that one day.
He did make a lot of bread. That's true. So it's Cecilius. So are these idiots the two of you from in the worst alternative dimension? Potentially.
I mean, it could be worse.
We do have similar haircuts.
We could be uglier.
Your hair's if you grow out your hair a little bit, you could probably.
I can't grow out my hair. It just gets too thin and wiry.
I have a more majestic beard than that scruffy asshole.
You certainly do.
Look at that beard.
But you do have the same.
We do have the same haircut, though.
2001 haircut.
We do have the same haircut.
Or is it 90s? What do you keep calling it?
I think it's a 90s haircut.
You do with all the spikes at the front.
I'm gonna bleach them and have frosted tips like the surfer boys of the early 2000s.
Well, then I'm going to. Okay, sure.
Okay. So we're gonna pause here so that R&D can fill up his beer. Maybe there we go. Maybe. Okay, there we go. I don't know. OBS is being weird. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna take a quick break so that I can go get some more beer. We'll be back in a little bit to listen to hopefully a little bit more of this. I really do want to get through the video. I keep derailing the conversation.
We might be doing this for an extra hour.
I know, because I really want to get to another one.
We ain't got nowhere to go.
It's true.
Hey, that's my sister's drawing of Emma.
Yeah.
I didn't
this
know
is
you
where
put that up there.
I show up all the fan art.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it wasn't fan art. It was commissioned.
Whatever.
By moi.
Whatever.
In exchange for wine tastings and food.
It's fan art. It works as fan art. Okay. We will be right back. We'll see you all in a little bit.
Cracky.
All right, and we're back, everybody. I can hit the right button. We can, bam. There we go. We can go back to talking about. Oh, I'm not spilling my beer.
Please don't spill. Again.
I know. It's a weekly occurrence. Oh, nope, can't click. There we go. We can go back to watching more of Paul and Morgan being super silly. Let's see. Chat. What are we doing? I know the microphone's in the way, but I had to move it because
I know.
It was hard for people to hear you last time.
No, I apologize. I'm quiet.
Do spill the beer, please. It's piss wiser anyway. It's not. It's delicious beer, Gio. I love it. It's delicious.
Also, I just had the carpets cleaned, so no. How about we don't?
Oh. All right. More Paul and Morgan.
On that?
Yeah, in my opinion, if you become close friends with someone who's just not walking with the Lord, I think that there will be opportunities to talk about God.
This is just a way for you to say you can be a judgmental bitch.
Yeah. I mean, that's really all that they want to say is this is the only time you get to judge is when they're not a part of your community. You still judge if they are a part of your community anyway.
True. I feel like it's not just that, like, because she's like, don't walk, they're not walking with the Lord or whatever. That also feels like, oh, if they're doing something that I don't find pleasing, like they have tattoos, Morgan, and I don't like them, then I can be a judgmental bitch about it. Like, the Lord says you shouldn't do that, or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think mostly that friendship, like, you'll be able to show them God through the way that you live your life because you're living a godly, biblical life. And they'll see God through that subconsciously, consciously, I've had people who I've been friends with in the past ask me, like, why are you so joyful? Or, like, why do you just have this certain, like, way about you?
Has she really brought people to Jesus just by being a nice person or by being a happy person?
I don't know. Maybe.
I really want her to give us a list of who she has evangelized to and brought to church.
I'm actually was hoping that the answer wasn't God, that the answer is, like, it's because I do a lot of drugs, so I'm kind of always...
You really think that's going to come out of her mouth?
I know. But the way she acts, I feel like... I don't know.
I mean, she could also just be oddly goofy, like
That's
some people.
True. Isn't she so quirky?
I'm sure, I'm sure she is a nice, quirky person.
Oh, yeah. Morgan and Paul, I know I'm making fun of you a lot. I'm sure that you're two genuinely nice people.
Well, actually, I mean, we really don't know that, but we want to give you the benefit.
We're gonna give you the benefit. I'm pretty sure you guys.
But we kind of want. We do hope that you do the same for others. You probably, you probably say you do, but
Yeah. So all of this banter, I'm kind of joking, but it's for funsies.
But loving and judging isn't the same thing.
Yeah.
They're not. What is the word? Coexist. No, I forget.
Oh, we gotta make Luke. Hello, Luke. We gotta make Luke a moderator. Maybe if I can click on the right spots. Luke. There we go. I got the right Luke. Luke, welcome to be a moderator. It means you can talk more. Congrats. You have no job. Just you don't have to deal with the filter, the YouTube filter that only lets you do so many things. Who's the guest? Who's this? This is my wife. We are watching Paul and Morgan, so we decided to do the obnoxious couple thing like they are.
Yeah. Aren't we just so obnoxious?
Should we be? No. Get away from me. Oh, he's totally checking out her chest. It's like, yeah, those are pretty nice. God, that is
It's just the most opportune time to pause it. Don't you love it?
Oh, goodness. All right.
And I just tell them, God, it's my Father, the one I'm walking with each day. So I think that there will absolutely be opportunities to talk about God, to share the word, to share the gospel with them. But I think the main thing, in my opinion, is just like being yourself, being the light.
I think that's going to carry the most.
So again, like I said earlier, like I don't disagree with her normalizing
if you're being
it.
yourself, then how is that God reaching through you? If that's just you being you, I don't know. If it's you being you and God is making you you, then isn't everyone supposed to be like you?
I don't know. God might have a different plan for everyone else. I don't know. I don't understand.
Oh, that's a great excuse for it. Yeah, if that's really the what is it? Not segue. What is the word? The excuse or something like that. I forget.
All right.
I don't know.
Weight, but you know that I like to stir stuff up sometimes when I feel it on my heart. I think there's.
He didn't. Damn it! I had a joke about the gut and the Holy Spirit talking, but then he felt it in his heart as opposed to his gut. So I don't know.
Now it looks like he's imagining reaching for her chest.
It is.
We just know what's on your mind, okay?
Like I really gotta get that clip and just like have it on a button that I can play because I love that clip. Why is Peter Pan up there? We don't know yet. I don't know.
This tendency for Christians to go so far that way that they're like, I would never challenge their sin. I'm just going to show it to them through my love and through my life. Like, if the Lord calls you to speak a direct message to your non-Christian friends, do it, baby! Do not be ashamed.
God, he's kind of intense sometimes.
I really wouldn't want to listen to him if that's the way that he approaches it. You know, I gotta do it. I gotta tell you.
I don't know. We disagree a lot on this because I'm one of those people who actually likes to have these weird ass conversations with people. Like, remember that time we were in Denver and there was that street preacher on the corner and I was like, "Can I go talk to him? Can I go talk to him?" And you wouldn't let me because you were like,
"Was that in Denver?"
That was in Denver.
Oh, I'll let you do it next time. I'm sure he's still there.
I'm sure he is. But like, we disagree on this because
in Omaha though.
You have let me which I love to have these kind of conversations. So I would actually enjoy talking to him about, like, if he got all like super whatever on me, like I'd love it. I think it'd be great. Because you did let me do it with that one Catholic group that was at an Old Market.
Were they Catholic?
I think they were Catholic. They gave me a card and I threw it away or whatever. But
I don't know. They were also giving away those. Maybe they were
rosaries.
Catholic.
They were
giving away rosaries.
Yeah, they were Catholic.
Really weird looking ones, though. But I mean, I think one of them had a rainbow on it.
It might have been. I mean, good on them for being progressive, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, no. So yeah, I would love it. I think it'd be great to have these kinds of conversations with Christians or people of faith, because like I said earlier, the talking to them about it can, if you guys don't know, an entirely different conversation. If you ever want to have these kinds of conversations or you want to sort of take part in this, go buy, God, I hate Peter Boghossian, but I love him. Go buy Peter Boghossian's book, Manual for Creating an Atheist, Manual for Something an Atheist. It's a great book, and it's all about using the Socratic method to talk to people about religion and stuff. From an atheist perspective. It's really great. I love it. It's a great book. Peter Boghossian himself is a dickbag. He wrote the foreword to Jordan Peterson's book, I think, The 12 Rules for Chaos or something like that. So he's kind of an idiot in his own personal life, but when it comes to that one book, he actually did pretty well. And Anthony Matabasco, something like that. He's on Twitter's and on YouTube's, and he actually, I showed you him. He's in California and he records himself talking to theists like on the street. Remember?
Oh, like that. Is he that one who hung out at that park a lot and just
Magna
wanted
Bosco?
to talk to people?
Yeah, that guy. He just talks to people who walking by, and that's really great. Like, go like. If you want to have these conversations with people, Anthony Magna Bosco and Peter Boghossian's book, are really great resources. Street Epistemology, thank you. That is the name. They are really great. It's a great way to have a conversation with people about this. Honestly, it's what I use with you when we were having religious conversation.
Yeah, I know. You've mentioned that.
Yeah, so it's. I mean, I have one example of being able to convert someone, so that's a thing. Deconvert? I should say deconvert.
Deconvert?
Yeah, because you didn't actually convert into anything. You just
maybe not call it well, I mean, deconvert is one way to say it. I like to think of it more as a slap in the face to reality. Thank you. A gentle slap, or was it firm? I don't know.
You used the Socratic method on your better half. I did. I did do that.
Actually.
You can convert her to
Socrates
PDF.
was a wise man.
I convert into MP3 all the time. Well, there you go. There you go. So no, yeah. What did that slap? What did he slap you with? That you
pretty
did.
much everything.
You gotta be careful about your answers with this group, sweetie. You gotta. You gotta be.
I don't regret walking into that one. That was great.
There you go.
Yes. Just everything from that book.
Yeah. I think Matt Dillahunty met his wife also over a faith debate. Yeah, I think she was a caller first. Matt Dillahunty's wife was a caller first, and that's how.
Caller?
Yeah.
Oh, called into
the atheist experience.
I thought you were saying like she was one of those people who call random people and ask, "Have you heard the message from the Lord yet?"
Mm-hmm. But I don't know.
I have gotten that a lot at work.
Have you? Oh yeah, you have.
And I also get recordings of of someone reading the Bible.
Remember
too.
that
And then I called back and it was a number from China.
I'm not at all surprised. Remember that couple, the two ladies who at your old house stopped by and we let them in and we chatted with them about religion for like a solid hour? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's just fun. I like doing that.
I know you do.
I really do. I think it's great. I don't know. So
I'll
they
try to let you do that more.
I just think it's fun. I think
I know.
It like and genuinely, like they say, getting to talk to people, you normalize atheism and you get to maybe convince them, or at least put like doubt in their minds about what they believe in, which is always great. Mm-hmm. All right.
The gospel of Christ, for it is the living power of God.
In the past, there have been times when I've kept my mouth shut and I've seen myself waver and conform to the way they're living.
Which you should, because honestly, being an atheist is way more fun than anything else.
It's also more freeing, even though that's not what you think is freeing with atheism. Isn't that like what they say when they announce their show? It's be free.
Oh,
like be free in Jesus.
Oh yeah, I know a lot of people do that.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I do find it one of the biggest changes, or at least the biggest changes that I noticed when I went from being a Catholic to being an atheist was, how less shitty I felt about everything all the time. Which I liked. I really liked because it was like my senior year of college that I sort of finally like realized that I was an atheist. You shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. That's what they say.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel way more free now.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have this looming sense of guilt over me, and that's what you were
Yeah, that's
saying.
what I had a lot of, because, so I learned, so at the end of college was kind of when I did this, and by the time I had finished college, I had crossed off all the sins, because I was in college, and so there was definitely a lot of guilt there, and guilt that I shouldn't have had, because I was being a perfectly normal,
You weren't hurting anybody.
Yeah, normal young adult. And it was much like once that got done with, I was like, I'm just a normal young adult who doesn't have to feel guilty about your normal adult stuff. Mm-hmm. And yes, I'm talking about sex. I should just normal sex stuff.
Yeah.
And drinking, because I did a lot of drinking, and my family did not approve of that very much. They still don't approve of all the drinking that I do, honestly. But yeah, no, it definitely it helps you. Not having that guilt is really nice, especially about tribute. Like you know, not that you shouldn't have guilt about things, because you know sometimes you're a shitty person and you should be feel guilty about this. But not having.
But you don't have to feel guilty for being for being 2 minutes late to an appointment.
Yeah.
You don't have to feel like, well, I'm not managing my time well, and time is a resource given by God, and I should be more wise about that, and I'm so terrible. You know, that was another thing that I had to deal with a lot, was that looming sense of guilt over my head. You know, having to feel guilty over every tiny little transgression.
Yeah.
And, you know, feeling guilty about thinking normal things, like thinking about having sex, and that's forbidden. You shouldn't even be thinking about it, because that's just as bad as, you know, having sex outside of marriage, because it's
what's
all
that
in
thing
your mind.
that Ray Comfort says? I think it's in the Bible. That's why he says it. It's because Jesus says that if you look at a woman with lust, you've committed adultery in your heart or something.
Yeah. And you should feel guilty about that.
You should feel guilty about
like,
that.
Oh my gosh, I don't need to feel guilty about thinking about it. If I act on it in a way that's, you know, harming somebody, yeah, absolutely feel guilty about it, but don't feel guilty about thinking about it. I mean, my goodness, you're a human with hormones, and especially, you know, you're a young adult with hormones flying, and that sexual repression is just bothering you to no end. Mm-hmm. Yeah, boy, that was really difficult.
Yeah.
And now I don't have to feel bad about that. So nice.
It is very nice. All right, here we go.
And also, there have been times more recently where I've spoken out to people that I truly, dearly love and been like, listen, I love you and you're one of my best friends, but I cannot support the way you're living. I can't support your lifestyle.
The second...
I want to know what it was that they were doing that was so horrible to her.
Probably nothing. Like, it's, you know, again, she's being... Morgan, I'm gonna call you one, but you're being a judgmental bitch. Like, it's... I feel like it's probably something benign, like... Again, probably having sex or going out to drinks or, you know, watching porn, like something that doesn't affect her life, that isn't actually going to make, you know, affect
something
any other
that
human
doesn't
being.
Harm other people.
Yeah. Like it's probably something like that just there's nothing, there's actually not harming a single human being, but it goes against Morgan's sensibility. Yes, you are a mod. Welcome to be a mod, Jelly. You're here all the time, and I forget. So, you know, whatever. I feel generous about mods. Like, well, everyone's a mod. Everyone's a mod now. Why not? When everyone's a mod, no one's a mod. It's great. It's kind of underwhelming, really. It really is. So yeah, that don't be judgmental, please. That would be nice.
The point is that there's this disclaimer. Oftentimes, the people that you're friends with are going to affect you more than you affect them, more than you realize. Growing up, I allowed my close friends to be guys who were good guys, but they're not really walking with the Lord. I would constantly find myself just kind of being on their level, and suddenly I'm like, God, why am I not walking close to you? And then I think about, like, who am I hanging out with?
This is so vague. I really wish they would actually...
Wait, are you saying you should hang out with them or not? I mean, I'm confused.
I think they're saying that you should speak out against the horrendous things that normal people do when they're being normal.
Really?
I think so, because like I think that's the deal here, is that we're gonna do this. Don't tell him. He'll figure it out. It is very vague as to what he's talking about, like what horrible thing is making them not walk with the Lord anymore. It's probably, I mean, it probably isn't anything.
I would like some clarification.
I would too. I would like to know, Paul, what you think not walking with the Lord looks like. What exactly is that like?
And what examples can you give from your past friends?
Yeah. Like, is it actually like baby eating, or is it that, you know, your friends masturbate? Like, what is it? I don't. Yeah. Like, I would like to know. Or are you just being judgmental because like your friends will make dirty jokes every once in a while, and like I get a feeling that it's a lot of judgmental stuff rather than anything else. Masturbation sounds like the most likely thing considering high school. Yeah, probably.
Mm-hmm.
That's it's probably something benign and stupid again, because let's be judgmental about things instead of being judgmental about things that are actually harmful to others. Or maybe they jerk off while eating babies. It's true. That would take a lot of dexterity, I think.
That's what you think of when you think like, well, that must take a lot of dexterity.
Yeah.
That's what you think of. I mean, I guess it would be impressive. Okay, I guess I had to think about it some more. You're right.
It's like a lot of dexterity. That's all. Okay. The baby needs some more glaze. It always does. I have a really good barbecue sauce recipe if anybody wants to.
You want the skin to get crispy but nice and juicy on the inside.
Oh,
That's
I forgot
the
to make. We gotta make the baby meatloaf. The baby shaped meatloaf. We have to make it.
You know, I wonder if anyone. It probably wouldn't cook as thoroughly, but I wonder if anyone could make a customized loaf pan and make it the shape of a baby. It wouldn't cook evenly. I know that for sure. No, but someone must for a gag.
I want to. I think it's great. Can we keep your wife here? She has better humor than you are, indeed. And then Gio says the bar isn't really high now, is it? Oh goodness. So yeah, we got to make baby meatloaf. So speaking of food and sinning all at once, remember so back in fucking February, I think it was. I think it was late February. At some point at work we throw like potlucks for just about anything. Like someone is leaving, let's throw them a potluck. Someone is having a birthday, let's throw a potluck. So we throw potlucks for like absolutely everything at work. Mm-hmm. And so when I first started there was a potluck, but for that potluck it was during Lent. For you Catholics / do regular Christians do Lent?
Well, that's a funny thing, though. I did know Christians who did participate in Lent and put, the ash on their forehead for Ash Wednesday, but it wasn't practiced amongst my church. It was like people who used to go to our youth group went to another church to do this, and it was weird. I was never asked to do any of that, but it was like maybe you want to consider Lent. No, no.
Okay. Well, so it was Lent, and so if you don't know, in Catholicism during Lent on Fridays you're not supposed to eat red meat. So no pork, no beef, no dog, and you're supposed to eat seafood instead.
Or chicken.
Or chicken. No, is it? I don't know.
Well, it's not red
Maybe
meat.
It's true. It's not.
It's pink.
I don't know where.
Oh no! Now I don't really know where that falls. See,
I don't know either.
I still need some education.
I don't know
in that
either.
Department.
That's a good one.
I'm pretty sure it just means.
I'm pretty sure it just means beef and pork.
Yeah.
Potentially, I don't know.
Goat is goat.
I don't know. There's so many meats now, huh?
Can someone Google this?
I want a list of meats that are available during Lent. But
so that during Lent, when there's another potluck, we can just bring all of the bad ones.
Well, I already so there was Lent, and then so the potluck was on a Friday, and I brought bacon wrapped Smokies. And a Smoky in the States are like little hot dogs, are like this big around. So it's already
yummy,
pork. So I wrapped pork around pork. And I made a bunch of these and brought them to a potluck on a Friday night. And they were all, or a Friday afternoon, I guess. And they were all fucking gone. Like, people just destroyed the shit out of those bacon wrapped Smokies. And I actually had a couple of my coworkers come and tell me, because of you, I had to break Lent and eat pork, and that was like the proudest moment I've ever had.
It was like a potluck. There were other choices, so that's on you. But also, thanks for telling me.
I know I tempted people into sin with food, and I think that's amazing.
Bacon.
With bacon.
I can't believe people would consider bacon a sin.
I know, right?
No, just no.
Mm-hmm.
You can never tell me that bacon is a sin.
I do love that. I got gotta. I made people eat bacon on a Friday. That is one of the best things I've done at work. my greatest achievement at work.
I think that's definitely a lifetime achievement, really.
Yeah.
You know, if we have to remember, if someone makes a memoir, if you make a memoir of yourself, or if someone writes a biography of you, that needs to be included.
Yeah.
It's quite impressive.
It says, Mrs. Rhett, it makes you happy. Of course it's a sin.
Yeah,
Things
that's
that make
true.
you happy are
It's so
sins.
good, it has to be sinful.
It's got to be sinful. All right, let's listen to a little more Paul Morgan.
With people who aren't walking close to you, it's going to rub off on you.
Yeah, you need people in your life who are going to encourage you in your walk with the Lord. And if all of your close friends are people who don't care about a relationship with God, who don't even believe in God, then what's going to happen to you?
Well, I mean, you could just be an adult and realize that people have different opinions about things and still be friends.
Live and let live.
Yeah, I mean, you could do that. You could do that.
I mean, would you really get to a point that you say, I can't be friends with you over this, and, you know, just eliminate all non-Christians from your circle? Is that what you're saying that you should do?
Pretty much.
I mean, of course, I've been told that that is what I should do.
That's very cultish.
But
That's a very cultish thing
is.
to do. Like, only people who 100%
They don't follow
agree.
the way you do, so get rid of them.
Yeah. That's true. That's such a cult thing to do too. Like the moment you disagree. Oh, that's awful. That's terrible advice, Paul and Morgan.
I think what we're trying to say is make sure that your closest friends
The people that you're seeking
Can I turn them up a bit? Yeah.
advice from.
are walking with the Lord and, will build you up in your faith.
We're not saying that people who are not walking with the Lord can't give great advice, that they're
Sure.
not super loving, and that they're not super kind and do great things for this world.
Okay, that's a good way to look at it. You should definitely acknowledge that sort of thing. But I'm sure there's a but coming.
Oh, I'm sure there is.
But we are saying that they don't have a relationship with God, which if you are wanting to have a relationship with God and keep that relationship with the Lord, you can't be going to people who don't have that.
So this is, I'm pretty sure that this is where they say you also shouldn't be going to secular psychologists when you have depression. I wonder if they have that in their depression video.
Probably.
But
That was actually that's actually a really big so and I brought this up. I have brought this up in the show before, but I used to deal with a whole lot of depression and alcoholism a few years ago, and so I was on antidepressants, and I had a shrink that I talked to, and one of the two hardest things that I had to deal with when I was dealing, besides my depression and alcoholism, was trying to find a secular therapist. Mm-hmm. So that was like I had to make it very clear that whatever therapist, whatever shrink I got, I wanted him to not give me religious advice. I wanted a good secular advice about this one. You didn't deal with the alcoholism. I did.
Well,
it's on moderation now.
It is on moderation.
It's on moderation now, even though I'm still a high functioning alcoholic. But, and that was the other one is, my shrink really wanted me to go to AA. That was one of her things. Like, you need to go to AA. You need to get your alcoholism under control. AA, in case you don't know, is absolute bullshit. It is the biggest load of nonsense that there is out there. Go watch Telltale Atheist has a really good video on AA and how stupid it is and how the steps are just complete bullshit, and it's all entirely religiously based. It's not data driven. It's not driven by science. It's entirely religiously based, and it's bullshit. And I absolutely refuse to go to AA. And so that was a big problem that my shrink kept like, you gotta go to AA. It's like, nope, never doing it. I'm never going to AA because it's a bunch of nonsense and I'm not going to do it. AA turned an adjective into a noun. Did it? Oh. Yeah, AA is not really for atheists. No, there are plenty of groups out there that work with atheists. There have been. So when I was dealing with this, it was I don't know, good solid 9 years ago, something like that. And so it's so back then I didn't really know about all the other resources. I know there's more resources now for more secular treatment. I even watched there's even secular treatments. This is slightly different. There's been a lot of cool studies showing that you don't have to do AA's whole thing is like you stay off of alcohol, period, and you replace alcohol with God is pretty much what it turns into. So instead of relying on alcohol to deal with your problems, you rely on God. So you're just replacing one addiction with another addiction. There's actually been some cool studies recently showing that you can actually you don't have to go from one extreme to the other. You don't have to go from alcoholism to never touching alcohol at all, period. But you can actually drink in moderation and learn how to drink in moderation, as opposed to using it to drown away your sorrows or whatever. So that's kind of cool. I hope a lot of the more secular treatments start picking up on that, on the fact that you can actually have some amount of moderation. I'm assessing a bias here, I know, right? One drink is too many and 1,000 are not enough. Yeah. So it's called Trinken in Madame here. I don't know if you get the irony. I don't, because I don't understand what you're saying. I might be a functional alcoholic drug addict. Yeah, no, there's there's new studies showing that you can go to moderation. You don't have to go all the way to never touching the stuff again. You don't have to go there. Why does the lady on the center frame look depressed? I mean, she's with Paul. That's probably why.
No, we just caught her at a truth-telling moment, maybe.
There we go.
That's well-timed pauses.
All right, so that's I don't know. I don't even know what they were saying. Something. I don't know. We went on entirely. That had nothing to do.
I think it was more of a person who doesn't follow the Lord could probably give you sound advice, but not sound enough. Something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not lordy enough. Not lord of lordy.
Lordy, okay.
All right.
Really be sensitive. Ask the Lord, ask the Holy Spirit, is this relationship with a person who's not a believer, is this a good relationship that I should be in?
We're called to be lights in this world, but we're also called to surround ourselves with people who will fill us back up. I remember a pastor of mine once said, we are a fuel tank. We'll be full for a while, and then as we start giving out our light, giving out our love, we start to, drain a little bit, and we have to be able to go back to a community of people who are going to continuously fill us back up, just like we're going to have to help our friends fill themselves back up.
It's called brainwashing. You need constant brainwashing to stay with the Lord is really how it works. Because, that's why they say you have to go to church every Sunday. You should be going to Bible studies. You should be reading the Word of the Lord every day and be praying. That's what it is. You have to brainwash yourself to stay in the
that's very true, because you need a little booster shot of religion every once in a while to not make you go stray off into
because the
reasonableness.
Truth is, when I started to distance myself from the church, when I was still like, am I really still a part of this? Is my salvation at a point where I can't retrieve it because I'm out having premarital sex and all that stuff? That's where I really started to realize, this is all made up. I started distancing myself, and then I realized this is all made up. So that is my theory. You have to brainwash yourself in order to stay in it.
That makes sense. Yeah, and then that's more or less what she's saying, is you got to go back to it. So makes sense. Darth, no, not Darth. Awesome Avengers faithful K9 sidekick. You said something. Okay. It has to do with leaving your old life behind and making a new one, non-alcohol life. Rather like a wedding, a funeral, or a funeral marks a change. Even atheists do such things. So it's understandable that AA has a spiritual aspect to it. So I don't. Okay. I guess I'm gonna have to divide how I feel about AA. I do care. I don't necessarily like my problem with AA isn't necessarily that they're spiritual. My problem with AA is that they're the biggest name for treatment on alcohol abuse. And there's really no competition. There are some, right? Like there is some competition for AA, but they're kind of the big ones. They're the ones that everybody sends you to. They're the ones who if you have and I've heard this happened before that if you have like a judgment, like judgments can be made to make you go to AA so that you can deal with your alcoholism. That is the part that I really, really hate. Is that they have such a grip on treatment of alcohol abuse when there should be other people who do it, and then from there, my other problem is whatever system that they have in place isn't based on research, isn't data driven. It hasn't changed in however many fucking years AA has been there. It's a religious treatment, and I don't like that either. Like if I feel like if you're gonna promote a treatment for something, it should be based on the latest science, the latest research, to show you what is the most effective way to treat alcoholism, rather than religion. Like if and I also don't think they're very effective at what they do. They're kind of funny with their stats as well. They'll often, they have a really high treatment. Like people who go through it, they're like, oh yeah, everyone who goes through the system, gets better. But pretty much if you aren't getting better through AA, it pretty much goes into you didn't follow the steps. So it's not AA's fault. It's your fault for not following the steps. If you had followed the steps, you would be better. So instead of blaming the treatment and trying to improve the treatment, you blame the patient for not following the steps thoroughly, which there's a whole lack of introspectiveness with AA that they don't even you don't even realize how wrong your system is. It is based on psychology, and psychology is not an exact science. Oh, you shouldn't. Yeah, you shouldn't have said that to the psychologist. At all. Remotely. Yeah, you done goofed, my friend. No, it's not. AA is not remotely anywhere near based on any amount of psychology. Period. It's not. It is not a science. It is not scientifically based. It is based 100% on religion. It is not in any way, shape, or form is based on good psychology or bad psychology. It's it's no. No. And if it was based on psychology, one, it would change over time to get better at what it does. And that in and of itself, the fact that it has never changed tells you that it's not based on any amount of science at all. Because if it were, it would change all the time. He's very exact. He says pizza all the time. I do say pizza all the time. And while human psychology isn't 100% unpredictable, and it isn't 100% predictable. There are variables, like in so many things, right? It's not physics where you can, tell how fast an object is moving based on I could get a psychologist that would disagree with you. I bet you could. While it's not an exact science the same way that physics is, where if you know the force, you can figure out the acceleration and all that nonsense. It still follows the scientific method, and it still produces a range of behaviors that are predictable. Maybe not to the same degree that like physics or chemistry would be able to, but it's still very accurate, and you can still predict a lot of human behavior and how humans will react to different things. Maybe it could have been based on psychology earlier days if it was for the fact that it was religiously if it wasn't for the fact that it was religiously grounded. Other things considered woo now or scientific at first. I could see that. I don't think AA is like that, but I can see your argument, Darth. So yeah, so you could possibly get a psychologist to disagree with me. That's fine. At the end of the day, this is my opinion, right? Which take it or leave it as you please. But also remember that there is no no scientific evidence for AA. Like, at the end of the day, it's not based on actual like papers or studies or anything. And again, I point to the fact that it hasn't changed over however many decades it's been around as a good indicator that it's not based on science. Things that are based on science, treatments that are based on science change over time. Even in psychology, things that were done in psychology 20 years ago are not done today because new studies have come out and have contradicted those old studies. And we have learned, and so we change things. That in and of itself is, I think, enough evidence to show you that whatever AA is based off of, it ain't science. Otherwise, it would have fucking fixed itself by now. But it's not doing it. Okay. Predictable psychology usually only is true for normal, abnormal behavior. It has real outliers destroy the predicted models. I mean, it has outliers. But again, you can make predictions. Like, when it comes to psychology, you can make predictions. But like I said, it's the fact that there are outliers. It's what's that one? God, there was this one graph that was shown that I saw on Twitter about mapping out data points on a graph. And so you look for those trends that map on, right? Like if you have a correlation or whatever, you look at those. And we do things like statistical analysis on those to see if the trend is actually real or not. And we work off of the trends that do exist, not the outliers. So, my predictions: Jordan Peterson will be wrong on the internet. That's a good prediction. He's also very wrong about psychology all the time, which is awful. Also, he was on Dr. Oz because that's where real doctors go, to Dr. Oz. That in and of itself, I think, should make you doubt anything that Jordan Peterson ever says, because he is willing to sell his soul to Dr. Oz, and that's disgusting for someone who has a doctorate. Yeah, no, I'm sorry, I didn't put enough quotation marks. Dr. Oz, you're right. Yeah, no, he was willing to sell his soul for money, which makes me think that he doesn't actually care a whole lot about his degree. He cares more about the money that he makes than he cares about his degree. I think that's, yeah, I hate Dr. Oz, and I hate Jordan Peterson even more for being on there because goddamn. All right. Regulars, I'm not familiar with Dr. Oz. Is a real doctor, or a doctor like Dr. Pepper is a doctor? He's a Dr. Pepper doctor.
Oh yeah, he's a quack.
He's a complete quack. Okay, let's see if we can finish this video.
The joy, the love, the truth of God. Who you are surrounding yourself with is just so important.
We love our Christian brothers and sisters in Christ, and we're called to love people that are outside the faith, like really love them. God's kindness leads us to repentance. Let's be kind. Let's show the world that we are Christ's disciples by the way we love one another, both Christians and non-Christians. Guys.
So what do you think the chances are that their love also includes things like being dicks to people who are different than them?
Well, that's the thing. It's two different loves. You love your Christian brethren in a different way from non-Christian brethren. And the way that they justify is that, yeah, if you're harsh to your non-Christian friends by calling them out on their sins and telling them you need Jesus and all that, it's love in a they still call it love, and it's just godly love in some sort of way. I forget what terminology they used for it, but they said it's still considered love because you're, trying to bring them closer to Jesus. It's your intention that defines it as love, but you're still being an ass.
That's true. Being an ass for Jesus, why not?
Comment and let us know what you think the balance should be being friends with non-believers. What are your experiences? We'd love to hear your thoughts.
I mean, didn't they already just tell you how to balance it out, or were they just being really vague?
I think they're being really vague.
Okay, then
That seems to be their
so
trend.
not helpful. You just want to hear yourself talk? Is that the whole point of these?
I think. Well, yeah.
I mean, they've been very
no.
vague.
I think the
not
whole
very-
point is to be vague because that's how you get people to like your stuff. So
I guess,
they don't
yeah.
really say anything, which lets them say everything. Like by not saying anything, like the thing that I pointed out in my video is when you're this vague about things, you can make it fit to whatever you're talking about. So they didn't tell you what the boundaries should be. They didn't tell you how you should balance your work friends.
So it's not just being friend. Their title is being friends with non-Christians. I kind of expected a more of a a direction on how to do that. Instead, they more just talked about, well, here's the complications with all of it, and here's just it's not exactly a pro and con list. It's more of just your thoughts on it without giving much direction. Yeah. Well, okay. I mean, I guess I can't get too upset with all that, but yeah, as they were talking about all the different things that come in with having friends that are not a part of your Christian group, that's I don't know where I was going with that.
That's okay.
To be honest,
I never know what I'm talking about.
Maybe I'm just mouthing off all the thoughts that I have about it and being vague.
Yeah.
I see why it works for them.
You don't know who Dr. Oz is? Dr. Oz is a quack on TV who promotes quackery all the time on national TV. It's a daytime program. I guess he is a real doctor. Is that what we're right?
He is a real doctor. He started off as having some sort of segment or something on the Oprah Winfrey Show, and then he got his own show. But we at work have a TV that is on the normal daytime talk show channel, with Ellen DeGeneres and The View and all that stuff. So around 3 o'clock or 2 o'clock, I forget, Dr. Oz's show comes on, and just walking by the TV, I realize, okay, now we're promoting another kind of oil for hair growth and weight loss, and it's just now it just seems to be more of a eat this to be healthier or be more beautiful in some way. But that's not like, I don't need a doctor for that. But thanks, Dr. Oz, for I don't know, being a quack and a sellout.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So yeah, he is what Goop is telemarketers for fringe alternative medicine stuff. Yeah.
Hey, that's a great comparison.
Yeah, no, he sells a lot of quackery stuff. But I never mentioned I mentioned Dr. Oz. And then you were asking about, you didn't know who Dr. Oz was. So now you know who Dr. Oz is, and he's a quack on national TV. And that goes back to Jordan Peterson appearing on national TV on Dr. Oz's show, not to tell Dr. Oz that he's got crack science, but to promote his own quackery on it about some psychological test, which is not a psychological test. It's just a clickbait quiz, personality quiz. I think that the moment that you end up going on Dr. Oz's show to promote your own quackery, you no longer give a fuck about your own doctorate anymore and the hard work that you put into it. You care more about the money that you can make promoting quackery than you care about actually promoting things that are scientifically sound. Similar to, what's his face? Dr. Lyles on the creationist Dr. Lyles, who's a young Earth creationist who has a doctorate in physics, I think, and some sort of, I don't specifically remember what part of physics, but at that point, if you care more about again, promoting your own nonsense than you do about. It shows that you care more about the promoting your own nonsense than you care about actually, you know, pursuing the truth. That's me. Was he on PragerU? I think, yeah, a lot of people have been on PragerU, which is a lot of smart people have been on PragerU, which is just sad. He is probably a flawed doctor to begin with. What is scientific paper output intensity? I don't know. Actually, I'd like to know. I don't know how often Peterson is cited or how many papers he's written. I know that he gets a lot of. He does this thing which I find is hilarious, where he and a lot of people have also pointed out to him, is he pulls from a lot of different sciences at once when he talks. Which makes it really hard for any one person to sort of debunk him or talk about why he's wrong. You were referring to Dr. Oz? Dr. Oz is probably the same way. I don't know. But Peterson in particular, he pulls from a lot of different sciences, so that like scientists in the field, in one of the fields, won't comment on it because they don't know the other fields, because he pulls from so much at the same time that it's hard to talk about what Peterson got wrong when you're an expert in the field, because he talks about so much at the same time. I feel blessed. I have zero idea who this Peterson turd is. Good. Good on you. Yeah. JP literally has thousands of citations for the last 30 years. Okay, cool. Again, I don't know. I haven't actually looked at his history, but, you know, that's, if he's got citations and he's got good papers, then, you know, good on him. I wish he would have stuck to that than promoting pseudoscience, which is what he's been doing for the last 4 years, whatever. Both in his books and in, like, he's got this crazy theory about how because there's double snakes that appear in art throughout history, therefore ancient people knew about DNA and the double helix because there's snakes. It's like, it's ancient aliens kind of nonsense that he promotes. It's really crazy. People in the past never saw snakes fuck. Apparently not.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah,
it's just haven't you ever seen that? That's how they do it.
Yeah. Oh, you mean the snakes that go the wrong way to be DNA? Exactly, those snakes. Yeah. So he promotes that kind of, like, again, ancient alien level of crazy where snakes having sex is now DNA. It's super sad. All right, so I think we're finished with this video. I think at this point, it's whatever is left is just the comment, subscribe,
sign off,
which I don't feel like listening to. So I think we're done. Are we done?
I mean, I can keep going. Do we want to try another?
What do you think? Video. I call them video. Chat. Chat, tell us what you'd like to do. Would you like to watch another Paul and Morgan video? Are we all done? What do you think? You let us know. Keep going, says my girl. Okay. Well, I'm often cyber how many intelligent people are willing to purposely misunderstand what Peterson says. No, it's Peterson doesn't say anything. It's not people misunderstanding him, is that Peterson says nothing. And so it makes he's like the Bible. You can get anything out of it if you look hard enough. And that's a problem with his communication skills, not the people who are reading him or listening about him skills. That's that problem. Any prison vids? What?
Prison
I don't think
vids.
so. Please do not leave me. Okay. You should finish the
okay.
video. It would be the first time that you finish as a couple together. Let's see what the other. Okay. So we can't keep going. We're not finishing this video. This video is done. I am calling this video done. And I can.
That's what he said. I had to. Hey, you
done?
jump in. I mean, that's what you say. Or you say, that's what she said.
Yeah.
And I just had to beat you to it for once.
Okay, so oh no, that's not what I wanted. I wanted to go over here. We'll get a new poll going here, I think. So number 1 is gonna be off the poll. So we'll get a new one going. You can talk to them because I don't know.
No, I'm done.
You're done talking to them?
For now.
Oh.
I don't have anything else.
Okay.
For now.
Okay. Because I got to type things. So number 1 isn't there. So we'll go 2, 3, 4, 5. Because we only had 5 videos. Create that poll. We'll share it, and then we get to decide. So on our list of videos to continue watching, we have Christian guys on modesty, because Christian guys are going to tell us how women should be modest or not modest. Christians on LGBTQ. I'm sure that won't be cringy at all. What else we got? Practical tips for staying pure in your relationship and overcoming depression. And actually, so I'm going to paste that in the chat. We're going to take another break because, again, I've finished my beer.
And I'm almost done with my first one.
Yeah, so we're going to go get beer refills, listen to some more music, enjoy some fan art, vote on things, and then we'll be back in hopefully not too long. All right, everybody, we're back. I gotta turn the camera back on. There we go. Hello. Okay, we're back. And it looks like number 4 like handedly won that poll all by itself. Good job, number 4. So practical tips for staying pure in your relationship.
This is gonna be good.
Also, Oswaldo just became a patron. So, and I just got an email about it. Oswaldo, if you are here, and you would like boobs, you can say a thing, and we will give you boobs. Yeah. So, let me know if you're here and you get boobs. Otherwise, the next time you're around, you can definitely have some boobs. So we'll turn that off. We'll go over to our video. Which one? Number practical tips for staying pure in a relationship. Oh God, no! You guys can't see this yet, and I don't know how. There we go. I don't know how I feel about your hat, Paul. Know how I feel about that hat? That is. You're not being quirky with that hat. I'll say it.
That's supposed to be a hat.
I think so. Oh gosh. Oh gosh.
I think I have his sweater.
Is that a sweater? That is a sweater. I think you do. That's
okay.
Paul, don't take this as an insult, because I think it's, you be you, right?
Do we need to pick on his
Yes,
clothes?
I do.
Okay.
You are very metrosexual, my friend, which go ahead.
He might be working it, but the hat
might be a little bit too much, but you're very metrosexual. You have that V-neck t-shirt thing going on.
Why would you wear a hat
girl
when you're
sweater.
Indoors?
I don't know.
I just have a thing with hats where it's just, unless it's for a costume or you're outside, why wear one?
Yeah,
I guess we are nitpicking.
We are going to nitpick it. Why not? Paul again with that super DV. I know, right? I feel like it should be the lady with that, but
no. I don't know if it's a thing now, but I do remember a lot of men, like, I don't know, almost 10 years ago, where V-necks on guys were a big thing. It was a big deal. But they didn't really comment on how deep the V it could get before it was a question of modesty. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, there you go. Lord Claudius, they will be man boobs, though. They will be man boobs. You got to see down all the man boobs. Metrosexual people aren't allowed in the subway trains here anymore. The mess became disgusting over time. Is that a pun I'm not getting? Is that a German pun? I'm not sure I got that. I'm not sure. That one went over my head, Gio. Over the head. Did Paul lose some brain cells since the last year? I mean, he's expression in the eyes. It's true. Metrosexual.
Really? Got it. He's covering up his face so he can't show how red he's getting. I'm sure he's tearing up too. Oh wow, he's really getting red already. It's not just his pink shirt that is making it look red. No, that's him. Look at him. Look, he's so red.
He's a metrosexual.
Hey, hold on. Sorry, you have like an eyelash.
Get off.
No, it just bugs me.
Of course they have eyelashes. They're on my eyes.
It's falling in front of your eye, and I get really sensitive with eyes. So. Okay.
Okay. All right. So we have metrosexual. Goddamn, sorry. Paul here gonna tell us some advice on how to stay pure in your relationship. Now that was a successful joke if I've ever seen the effects of one. Yeah.
Yeah. The effects are quite obvious when it comes to the both of us.
That's true. Oh. The idea is that they're sexually attracted to the metro, so being inside it causes orgasms. Thank you. Okay. Okay. Don't be fuckable should be tip number 1. Oh, God. Oh, goodness.
I have the back of an old man. God, heal my back.
Kill it! Yeah!
Oh! What's up, guys? I'm Paul.
I'm Morgan.
And this is the Paul and Morgan Show. Today's video, practical
That hasn't gotten better.
It hasn't gotten better.
That has not gotten better.
I take back where I was really hoping it was a work in progress. No, that's it.
That's it. Like,
Wow.
it gets worse.
Do you want me to give our jingle again? I forgot what it was anyway.
Good. The dude just came as she probably did. Oh, goodness.
Tips for staying pure in your relationship. I just ate chocolate, so it's going to be hard for me to be too serious.
And I'm
What?
slap happy, so.
And she's slap happy because she's tired. Guys, if you're new,
What do you mean you're happy? Okay, well, no, I think I do know what he's talking about. When you eat chocolate and you're happy, if it's a lot of chocolate. No, seriously, in my spoken communications class, we had to do an argumentative speech, and I chose why dark chocolate is better than milk chocolate, and I brought samples of a lot of different levels of dark chocolate. I even went so high as 90%. Wow, we had a lot of dark chocolate, and all of those you know, your endorphins are rising. Is that the right word? I don't know. The way that dark chocolate, it has all this stuff that messes with you in a good way. I was so happy that afternoon.
Okay.
It was great. I love dark chocolate.
Okay.
Anyway, I think I know what he's talking about. I'll give him that.
Okay. Well, I guess
But slap happy. I think
There's a lot of-
we've just been given a clue as to
what they do in bed.
yeah.
Yeah, potentially.
We know.
I don't.
See,
I'm
look at her
almost.
face. She's just like blissful.
I'm almost though in a lot of ways. I'm almost convinced that they don't have sex.
Maybe
Like I feel like they're on
maybe
either
they think
extreme.
it's sex.
Like I feel like they're on either extreme. Like they never have sex because they're super pure, or they have like super weird kinky sex. Like they're not like they're one or the other. Like they have to be on one of those two extremes. Or like they're those couples. Yeah, I don't think she watches these videos. So I had a friend back in college who got married right out of college. Great lady. I love her to death. She was a really good friend. But at some point we had to discuss sex before she got married. She was super Catholic girl. So we had to discuss sex. But because she's super Catholic, she was against using any form of birth control, like at all, like any, like from condoms to pills. She wasn't gonna do any of that nonsense. And so, but she also didn't want to have children right away. She wanted to wait until things. She was smart and knew that she was a college student and needed to go do things. And so her whole plan was to only have sex during those parts of the months where she couldn't get pregnant. What I forget, there's a method to.
No, yeah, there is.
I forget what it's called.
Ovulation,
Yeah, cycle or whatever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that was it. Like she was only going to have sex during those times. So they could be one of those couples that only has sex like once a month, maybe.
Or you could just use contraception and have it whenever you like.
Yeah, no.
Why do you have to be so strict on it? I know why. I know
Yeah.
why.
How did you deal with the bitterness of such a high cocoa level chocolate at 70%? I can't eat it.
I don't know. I really like different extremes of certain tastes, so I really enjoyed it. All I remember is that I just enjoyed it.
Well, there you go.
It was probably also a very minimal amount. I might add.
Yeah. All right. So that was it. Was called the rhythm method back in the old days. Oh, the ovulation cycle rhythm method.
Oh, is that what it was called? Oh.
So when you keep track of, I
yeah,
know people who
you
do.
can.
I've known people who have done it and kept track of their cycles and whatnot.
I had an app that would tell me this, but the weird thing was it would do it in the middle of the night, and it had the weird, I forget what app it was, but it had the weirdest notification sound. It sounded kind of like an alien ship outside your window, like meow, and it just woke me up in the middle of the night, freaking me out, and then said, "You're ovulating." Like, I don't need to know that. I'm deleting this. God damn it. Yeah.
People who use the rhythm method are called parents. Because it doesn't work.
I see.
Like,
It doesn't work.
That's a good one.
You were really bitch my cup. Yeah, that app really didn't understand what my goals in life were.
You have somewhere to be right now.
He's right next to you. Mount.
Oh goodness. We're gonna move on with life now.
Oh no, there you go.
Oh goodness.
To our channel, we are making Christian advice videos on life,
Life,
love, and dating to help you
have hope.
and be free. So subscribe. All right, purity, 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 purity. Everybody.
So. Don't even wait for him to just do it. I know, right? So, what do you think their definition of purity is going to be? So I pointed this out in the video, how like they don't, like in that video they don't actually give you like a strict like don't do this, don't do that. They're like they give you a lot of wiggle room to
give you
get away,
a lot of wiggle room without saying much, but saying exactly what they tell you need to do. Their method of how they format their videos is very odd.
I mean, yeah. Well, I don't think it's odd. I think it's very much so in the
strategic.
Yeah, it's just like every other bit of nonsensical advice out there. Like, they are no different than any, clickbait list of 10 things you need to know. It's vague enough that you can get whatever you want out of it. Which is the purpose of those. The purpose of those aren't to, they want you to feel good about what you've already done rather than to actually give you advice, because nobody actually likes advice. Like, when like one of the things Hugh and Jake talked about this, because they're doing they started like dieting and trying to get more exercise to get in better shape. And so like one of the questions they got asked right away was like, what's the key? Like, what do you have to do to do this? And one of them was very like, I think it was Hugo, who was just like, you consume less calories than you burn, and that's the secret. Which is something that nobody wants to hear. That you actually, you have to actually do exercise and you have to eat less.
Yeah, no one wants to hear that. People just say, eat more of this and you'll lose weight.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry. NA, thank you for boobs. We'll get boobs. Oh, thank you for boobs. You get, yeah, that was loud. Thank you, NA. I will not use that name again. You let me know what you want on there. If you can't fix it. So I think the list is public for names, so you might want to fix it sooner rather than later. Like, that's not something I do. That's a patron thing or Patreon thing. But for now, if you want something else chosen, you can send me a message on Patreon and I will do that thing. So you do whatever you need to. Thank you again for both being a patron and for donating. You are awesome. Awesome. And you get free boobs on top of the boobs you donated for us. So if you would like extra free boobs, let us know. We will get them for you. So what was I saying? Oh yeah. So something. I was in the middle of the story. Wasn't I?
Were you?
I don't remember anymore.
We were talking about conception, or did we pass that?
I don't remember. I think we passed contraception.
Okay, no, I'm lost too. Oh, the definition of purity.
Oh, yes. No. And then I remembered. Yeah. So people don't like actual advice. Like actual advice that's like you have to actually genuinely change the way that you do things. People don't like. People prefer things like actual, vague advice about like you can't have bread, but you can eat all the bacon in the world, which is whatever Atkins / that other one, keto or whatever diet, as opposed to just like, no, just eat less and
keto
exercise
has you eat
more.
A lot of butter.
I know,
it's very odd. We tried some keto recipes a little bit ago, just because like, well, what is it like? And I realized, wow, you put everything in butter.
Yeah, no, pretty much. And the thing about
this
those,
what we make fun of Paula Deen for using a bunch of butter, and now it's a diet.
Yeah. So and that's the thing, like just the key to losing weight is you have to burn more energy than you take in, and that's it. Like, it's super simple, but it's really hard work because it means you have to eat less and work out more or do more exercise, and so people don't like that. So they prefer doing things like keto and Atkins and whatever other nonsense.
Eat a glass of apple cider vinegar every morning.
Yeah, whatever other nonsense they can think of, because that's easier than actually doing the thing that will actually help you, which is to eat less and exercise more. Because that's hard. That's hard work. So they're doing the same thing, which is they're giving you vague enough advice that you feel good about it, but it's not actually putting an effort into things. So if they would have told you, these are the rules for... and I doubt they'll do it here as well. But if in their last video they would have been like, no, you can't, like you can't be in the same room as someone of the opposite gender, unless you're married, like, alone or whatever. Like, you can't be in the bedroom. If they were to set like that strict of a rule, then they wouldn't get people to agree with them, because that's difficult. And so instead they keep it vague so that they're like, oh yeah, I can kind of, sure, we won't have sex, but sure, we won't, like, but, and so that's a lot of what they're doing, and I'm sure they'll do it here a lot. I'm pretty sure all of that will come up. You're actually you are unlikely to actually enter ketosis. It has to be super specific. Oh, okay.
How?
Is that what that is? Is that what keto is based off of?
Yeah,
ketosis? I don't actually.
ketosis,
Okay.
yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
actually know. I didn't listen to our friends when they told us about it. I kind of stopped listening.
I thought that they were joking. Like, is it keto? Because of the way that they said it is like,
so
wait,
too.
are you joking? Are you asking if it's keto? Or are you guys really on keto and you're obsessed with
yeah,
it?
no, they were actually.
So I don't know. I wanted to try it, but now I'm just like,
I
no,
don't
I
know.
just want to make the meals that I'm used to. I don't want to fry everything in butter.
No, we don't got to do diets. Eat less, exercise more.
Yeah, but
That's it. But that's hard.
I know. I know, damn it. Anyway.
Yeah, okay. Fun fact, keto diets were originally invented to treat drug-resistant epilepsy. Oh, really? That's interesting.
Oh.
That is interesting. Okay.
Okay, we should
get into the
try.
thing.
Everyone's purity, but few people maintain it.
Keep it. Yeah.
Keep.
Wait, are they talking about
wait,
in the marriage?
No, before.
Oh, is this before?
I'm pretty sure they are.
I'm
'Cause
not.
The topic of purity is always before marriage. That's just what I remember from all those chapel meetings at college. And yeah, whenever we talk about purity, it's aimed towards singles or those who are not married yet.
Oh.
Usually, most of the time, they could be talking about purity.
I think this
you
is
could
after
be married,
marriage.
but you're thinking of it. I
don't think they ever have sex.
They are married.
I don't think they ever have
I don't
sex.
know.
Like, I understand that they're married.
I just know that purity was definitely a topic aimed towards singles.
Gio, if you want to know about purity, ask a German guy.
Hey, Gio. Want to elaborate?
My sister has a friend who's not allowed to be at the same parties or social gathering if there's boys there because her boyfriend apparently is insanely jealous.
Well,
she should leave that fucking relationship.
I kind of feel like she must have... Please tell me that she is trying, that she could try, that she can safely try, because if he's insanely jealous, I don't know what else he would be doing to keep her around. I'm kind of terrified to think about that. Yeah, that's not good. Being insanely jealous in a relationship is horrible. Is a horrible relationship to be in. Yeah,
no, don't do that. He has sex with gay lover and she watches. Oh, that sounds like a terrible... Well, I mean, I guess if she's into it, but it doesn't sound like she is.
I mean, jeez.
Are you guys going to pause every 2 seconds and read every comment? Yes. Yes. That's... You put another comment, I will read it.
Our viewers. I guess. Okay. Well, we should still try and get to the video because I'm very curious.
I am actually very curious.
Okay.
Have it. Hold on to it. Let's go. Without further ado, Tip number 1. We don't have them written out, but I think that they're written on our hearts, on the tablets of our...
What?
I like how he does this for his heart.
Yeah.
This is what he's holding for his heart. Like, look at him!
God. Okay.
This is his heart.
Oh no. You also gave him an anatomy lesson and also just a little quick check. Just a little one.
I don't think he understands biology.
It's written in your heart. Okay. I'm sure he's just trying to he might be just being funny. I mean, he's not doing so well, but I think that's the point. He's probably trying. Anyway, let's listen to what's on his heart.
Oh, wow. The first tip that I think about, to realize that you're not as strong as you think you are.
Where did I hear that before?
I know.
You're not as strong as you think you are. Like, stop being so judgmental.
It's a great one.
I'm the person who I grew up and like everyone around me told me that I was way more mature for my age and I was like, yeah, in reality, we're not strong at all. The Lord is.
Yeah, the Bible so often talks about resist this sin, resist this whatever, but when it comes to sexual lust, it says flee. You need to just...
Man, this is the same as the last one.
It kind of is.
No, it is exactly the same.
I mean, they can be deriving it from another one. Who says that they can't? But
I suppose.
Okay.
But this is just.
You're not creating new content, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Unless this is the first. Unless I made this video before that one.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't remember the order of this, but pretty much that they said the exact same thing. So, do you think she realizes that she is being married to him is just a cover for him? Oh,
ouch. She might find, she might find out later.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
I mean, come on. He's dressed more fashionably than she is.
It's true. You're a little frumpy, my friend Morgan. Just a little frumpy. Also,
it's not frumpy.
She is frumpy.
Oh my god.
Also, ditch the glasses. You look way better without the glasses. Like, I know I said this last video, but you look way better without the glasses.
Get away from things that are going to cause you to cross those purity lines. Another tip.
What are the purity lines?
Do you think he'll define it later? Can we try watching?
No.
So I'm not going to say that it's wrong for you guys to go on a date, just the two of you alone.
We did.
We went on dates alone, but like I usually either told my parents like, hey, this is the time that I'll be home, I'm going to Lexington, he's taking me out to eat, and then I'm coming home.
Keep the parents in the loop. That's a smart.
Don't. Sorry.
I mean, if you really want to, sure, there's nothing wrong with it, but you don't. I feel like that doesn't need to be the necessary thing to keep your purity in check. I don't.
Keep your parents in the loop. I don't know. I'm not like.
I mean, who are you talking to? Are you talking to people younger than 18 or over 18?
I
Are
guess.
they, are they still adults at this point when they have to tell their parents that they're going out for a bite to eat with the opposite gender?
I don't know. That's all.
How old do these people need to be to tell them that?
Like, once you're not living with your parents anymore, like, I feel like you don't have to tell your parents the hell you're doing.
I mean, you can if you want, but it's not necessary.
There's no obligation. Your parents, they did their job. You go fly on your own, little bird person.
Yeah. Of course, I'm sure that there might be some parents who are still.
Oh yeah.
You better tell me who you're with, girl, or man. Mostly girl. It's mostly girl.
It's mostly girl.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that's kind of weird advice. I don't know. I never talked to my parents.
Well, is
about
that the part of the advice, or are they just adding that? What was their number 2 advice?
I don't actually know they've gotten to there yet. How did they get there?
Was it like don't be alone with it?
No, she said that they went alone on dates.
Yeah. So where
I don't know if they've actually given us advice yet. I think we're commenting on not advice yet.
Okay.
Right, which meant we didn't leave room for us to have like hours on end where we weren't doing anything. Like we did what we said we were going to do on our date, and then we said goodbye and left.
That sounds boring.
That's sad.
Yeah.
Like, why not? I mean, some of the best dates that you and I have had were just like, let's just hang out together and see where the day takes us, and we don't show up until 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
Because we had an awesome day.
Yeah.
Why not be spontaneous? That
No.
sounds dull.
That does sound dull. Like, did I fix my name? I don't know if you did fix your name. I will look it up for you in A&A. That does sound really, really dull. I don't know why you would date like that, with like on a schedule.
Is that what your marriage is like then? Are you still just, we're doing this and then we're going home? Is that it? Surely you guys go on dates as a married couple too. I'm sure that the dynamic is quite different now, but
Yeah.
oh, okay, that's so dull.
It looks like it's fixed in A&A. You're all set. You do get free boobs, even though you paid for boobs. You get another free pair of boobs, or a free pair of boobs. So just you let me know, A&A. You let me know. Oh, thank you, Fido. Oh goodness, all the things, Fido.
What's up?
Fido upgraded his pledge.
Oh.
$5. Thank you, Fido. Oh my goodness, you guys are wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. You guys can definitely both have boobs for your pledges. So, I got a smiley face from NA. I think that means boobs. Can I just get one boob? Just one boob.
I mean, can you crop it out? Can you crop a chest out
I
just
don't
to
know.
be one? Okay, just slap your hand on one of them.
Put your thumb up to the screen on one side.
Yeah, just
That's how we'll do it. Okay.
we'll leave the one boob up to you.
All right. So rule for boobs, you gotta pick super chat or donations, and then we will roll a d20, and that's what you get. Can I get the statue notes here? Give me a second.
That's not.
Can you get one of your boobs? I suppose.
I'm not flinching.
Just pull up a paper in front of your screen, micro. So I don't even remember what these guys were talking about. Oh my goodness. Okay. So yes. So as soon as I get a thing about super chat or donations, then we'll figure out boobs. Till then, we got more of these two to listen to.
I think a lot of people dating are like, hey, come over, let's just hang out. And then they just hang out.
Go ahead and be purposeful.
What's wrong with that?
I know.
I mean, dates come in different shapes and forms. Why can't you? Does it have to be just going out to dinner, guys? I'll be home by this
No,
time.
apparently it does.
But go hang out. Go have plans. Just mix it up once in a while.
So one of the things, and I'm not sure if you remember, but I think we talked about this like back when we were first dating, was trying, like, because we used to go out on dates a lot, like we purposeful dates where we'd like go out to dinner, go to movies or whatever.
Yeah, we did.
But at some point I'm like, at some point we gotta learn to just like be in the same room together.
Actually, like, do normal day-to-day things, like go run errands together.
Yeah. Like, yeah, because that's what
like,
like
I need
the
to
rest
go
of
pick
your
this
life
up from
is.
the dry cleaners. You want to come with me?
Yeah. Yeah. Like 99% of our life is just doing normal shit together. Cleaning the room, you watching whatever on the TV, and me making videos or playing games or whatever.
I mean, it's great to date. It really is, but you have to, know what it's like to live. If your end goal is to be in a serious relationship with this person, whether even if you're not getting married, but you're gonna cohabit with each other, you're gonna live together. You need to spend time figuring out what it's like to actually be with this person when the pretense isn't some romantic wine-filled dinner at a restaurant.
Sometimes you just sit around in your pajamas and watch TV.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Because
that's like 99% of your life is sitting around like doing stupid things rather than sitting around doing purposeful things.
Let's see, I like this one from Jelly. Jelly? Okay. I don't know. I'm sorry I goof up your name, but I like what you said. Just always go bowling. It's the least sensual activity.
It's true.
I don't like bowling.
Bowling is stupid.
I mean, you've seen the shoes, right? Those are not sensual at all. They come in 5 different colors that are just not even attractive colors. They're just bold clown shoes. You're right. It is.
Mrs. Rhett does not understand that with super Christians being caught in a loveless, uncomfortable marriage is wanted, so they go into church instead of spending time with your spouse. So that was the thing. So something similar. This is you can see this is our living room. We actually live in a fairly small apartment. I mean, it's not super small, but it's
850 square feet.
Yeah, so it's fairly small. Way below, like not way, yeah, way below, like way below what we could afford. Like we can actually afford to live in a bigger place. With more rooms. We really could afford to live somewhere bigger with more rooms and whatnots. But one of the things that like whenever I start thinking about like, oh, like we can have a spare bedroom or a man cave or whatever, the thing that always gets me is like I don't necessarily need a space to be away from her. Yeah. Like, I'm okay just being in the same room doing different
your
things.
Own thing. You know, I can be on my laptop watching a movie on Netflix, and you can be playing a game at your desk, and that's fine. That is kind of our separate time. We don't necessarily need to be in separate rooms. Yeah. We just, like, I'm going to go watch a movie, honey. Okay, I'm going to go play a game.
I can understand that if you have children, because children are awful.
And then you do need your own space.
Yeah. And I have heard that that's good to have your own space when you have children, but...
Yes, your sanctuary. Your sanctuary. Is what I would definitely be calling it. Yeah. And it would have a lock and key, and it would have a camera, so that I would know who went in there.
That's true. But yeah, for this, it's...
basically my sanctuary would just be a bar and a really comfy bed.
Yeah. I could... Yeah. But yeah, no, it's just like I don't.
Oh, and books.
And books, yeah. But for now, it's like we don't like. I don't know. I guess going back to the idea that you need to know that you can actually spend time together doing not super romantic, super outrageous things, but you can just sort of spend time together being normal is good. Mm-hmm. Children are awful. The child therapist, exactly. Like that is exactly why they're awful.
It's not a lie. You're not concealing that fact from your coworkers or anything. No. You're always surprised when you say, I don't want children. Like, why? Because I hate them.
So like 80% of the staff at my clinic is women, and there's like 3 dudes in the whole clinic. And right now we just had like 3 people get married this last like month or so. And so right away, people are like, oh, like you've been married for a while. I know, right? You've been married for a while. Like, when are you having children? And my stock answer is, I hate children. And my coworkers. Yeah.
Do you call it staff?
Why do you call it staff when it's a female person?
What?
Staff.
I get, okay.
It's a dick joke.
Hardy hard.
We're starting to spend the first couple of years teaching them to speak and walk. They just to keep telling them to stay quiet. Stay still and quiet. It's true. Yeah. It's very, very true. All right, let's do a little bit more purity advice here.
The time you spend together. My dad always used to say, and I didn't like it when he said it, but he would always say, nothing good happens after midnight.
Oh, yes. That I have heard plenty of times.
I heard that from one of my bosses.
I heard that from one of my professors. And it was funny because at the time, I was out past midnight with a guy a lot. The guy at the security, at the there was this little kiosk kind of thing at the entrance to the
you had a curfew at college, right?
We had a curfew, quote unquote. You didn't have to be back by a certain time, but after midnight, you had to check in with the security before getting into the parking lot you had to hand them your student ID. And the thing is, I didn't know this until, I don't know, a year into this college, that not only do they ask for your security card and you have to check in, they will actually email the resident director in your dorm to say, this person just came back on property at this time with this person. And you know, we didn't have a curfew, but we had like, all right, after a certain time, you have to check in with security, and they're going to be sending it over. They didn't tell us, though, that they would be sending it over to your resident director. How I found out is the guy that I was hanging out with at past midnight had a previous girlfriend, and she was out past midnight with him too. And like, I care what they were doing because we were probably doing the same thing. Anyway, they actually got in trouble because they were going out past midnight with each other a lot more often, and so finally my resident director was confronted her and like, what are you doing with him all these nights after midnight? What is going on? Like, that's so not your business.
No.
But they made a lot of things that was not their business at that college. I feel that, you know, a college should definitely make, of course, obviously, your education and your safety on campus a priority. Everything else, like your relationships and what you do with your free time, not your business.
Yeah.
But I went along with it because I wanted to be at that college at the time. But yeah, so after I I think it was during my relationship with this guy, one of my professors actually did say, no, nothing good happens after midnight. You should not be alone with someone of the opposite sex after midnight. You need to go home. And I just I was trying so hard not to giggle out loud or even have like the slightest grin on my face, but I did want to.
You do know that biologically, like, you can't have sex before midnight.
You know, maybe you're onto something.
That might be.
I must have missed that message all.
Yeah.
I took that message the wrong way.
So it's only
You're
after
right.
midnight that you can have sex. Before midnight, it's physically what did that one senator said? It all shuts down there.
That's in rape.
I know. Well, you know, it's all stupid.
I mean,
it's all stupid, not nonsense either way.
No, I'm not saying it happens to rape. That's what the senator said.
That's what yeah. So yeah, no, you can't actually have sex if it's daylight.
Yeah.
It's like being a vampire. You can't do it when it's light out.
Mm-hmm.
It's only when it's dark out.
Mm-hmm.
Afternoon delight.
I mean, the thing that you weren't supposed to be doing after midnight, it was going on before midnight.
Yeah, no. That's some silly nonsense.
It was.
I didn't like it as a kid, but I'm
Yeah.
seeing his points.
So true.
Staying up till 3 a.m, even if you're just on the phone, like, you are investing in that person, sharing intimate stuff with them, most likely.
Imagine that.
You can
Sharing
be
intimate stuff with somebody that you
investing
care.
into a person
The
any time of
horror.
day, but at midnight it just becomes more dirty. What?
Apparently.
At 3 a.m, it's any other time of day it's fine, but at 3 a.m, it's dirty. It's compromising your
I
purity.
mean, I'm not actually sure if that's what they're. I mean, that probably is what they're saying. But just the fact that
does he think that it's going to go into like sex talk over the phone?
I guess. I don't know. Actually, I'm curious to see what he does. I'm still fascinated by the fact that he thinks that so far it seems like he thinks that there's something wrong with being intimate and sharing personal stuff with somebody. Like that's kind of what he's getting at right now. Maybe he'll get
finish
it.
his sentence though.
Probably not, but
Okay.
still,
Let's
yeah.
I'm
find
not
out.
saying never, do anything with that person after midnight, but
Yeah.
is it wise to be cautious? It's wise.
So he didn't say anything. And it was all about being on the phone. Like, that was his example, is like being on the phone past midnight, sharing intimate things and personal stuff. And that's a bad
Like,
thing.
how
Apparently.
dare you?
Apparently you can't share intimate things before midnight.
I
It's
didn't
only
know
after
sharing intimate details about your life and being
With someone you
honest
care about.
is compromising your purity.
That is really weird.
I didn't know that.
Especially because, like, the whole point is this is someone you like,
the levels
right?
of sexual activity just never end with them, is it?
Apparently over the phone. God. I
Wow.
guess being on the phone
No, it's
after
not.
midnight is sexual? Like, it ruins your purity?
Investing in a person after midnight is
Ruins your purity.
yeah. Wow. Mind blowing.
This guy, this makes me think that they don't have sex. Like, honestly, like, this
you know,
video
the more we delve into this person, this couple, and the more you bring it up, the more I'm
Like,
starting to
yeah.
understand where you're coming from.
I don't think they do. I mean, he's concerned about being intimate and talking to someone after midnight. I don't think they have sex. I genuinely don't.
All right.
I feel like such a father right now. Quick, Paul, do something young.
Please stop.
You're an old man. Oh, no, I'm just kidding.
Another
Just
tip.
like, get off of me.
You're
You're right. They don't.
They don't have sex. They don't have
You
sex.
saw the look in his eye.
Yeah.
Just like, okay.
I know. He does not find her attractive. He's just like, please get off of me. What is this? I don't know. I don't know what this feeling is. Yeah, no.
Oh, this is fun.
You think that you can? You can't.
Well, that's kind of. I mean, what she's saying.
Let me explain. I cannot stay pure in my thoughts without
Okay.
the Lord.
I see where she was going.
Like, are you
Oh,
Threesome.
Come on. That doesn't help you at all. It just doesn't work that way. And she knows it, and he knows it.
I know. He's. Mm-hmm.
I just love that. All right.
I do love that clip. So I guess I never explained that clip. So I mean I made a
No,
joke
you didn't.
about it.
I mean, oh, you did. Yeah.
I made the joke about Paul being like, when Morgan was like, "You're not as strong as you think you are," and he was like, So there's that kind of reaction has two possible places that it comes from. Either he did a thing that he wasn't supposed to be doing with her, or he did a thing that he wasn't supposed to be doing with someone else that she doesn't know about. Like, those are the two options. He did a thing that he wasn't supposed to be doing, and he's like, that point, he's like, like he remembers.
I think he's right.
Like, he entirely remembers that he did a thing he wasn't supposed to. Oh, goodness.
Are you putting your trust in yourself and your boyfriend or yourself and your girlfriend? Because if you are, then you guys are going to fail. In my past relationships, I was trusting my boyfriend to not cross lines. I was trusting myself to not cross boundaries. In reality, the both of us should have been relying on the Lord to keep us strong.
That's.
So I get like I had to pause it just to remind everyone how vague they're being. Like, they haven't actually set out rules of what like the boundaries are. Like, we haven't had boundaries. Like, this is the boundary you don't cross, and we haven't, and they haven't told us. They're just like, listen to the Lord, because that's how you make excuses for your behavior afterwards. That's
well, I guess the Lord just wasn't talking to me when I decided to boink her.
Yeah, the Lord wasn't stopping me.
Yeah, no. Or I felt it in my gut.
Yeah.
That I was supposed to because
the Lord said that as, you know, you fall in love with people, you start feeling more of that physical attraction. Not that's biology
the person
or anything.
that you're supposed to be with specifically.
Yeah.
I'm sure if you felt that about more than Morgan.
Couple of dudes in there. I'm starting to jump on. There's a train going on the chat about him being closeted, which he might be. I decided to boink her.
Said the Lord has given us tools to help us maintain purity.
So when Paul would come over, like, we'd hang out upstairs with my family, and then we would go downstairs to my bedroom. But I remember.
Oh.
So what? No. Let's let her finish.
No. I want to be judgmental before we finish.
Okay, go ahead.
So earlier they were all against hanging out. They were like, don't just hang out, be purposeful. And they've entirely changed their tone now. Now they're like, well, they didn't change their tone, but apparently they were just hanging out before.
And then we would go down to my bedroom.
And that was another thing. You're not as strong as you think you are.
So
Morgan.
are you just being hypocrites
Oh,
now?
yeah, no.
Are you like trying to emphasize the fact that no, I've been there and you shouldn't do it? What horrible thing happened after it though? Really? What?
Let's find out. I want to.
Okay.
For one of the first times, like, he came down to my bedroom.
Look at that face! Look at that face! Like, yeah. I mean,
Oh my god. That is the biggest shit-eating grin I've ever seen. Like, they did a thing. They weren't supposed to.
You did a thing. You weren't supposed to, so you're being a hypocrite, but you're trying to say, no, I'm not a hypocrite. This is what you should be avoiding.
Yeah. No,
okay.
He did a thing with that one.
What's he gonna do with his face? With his face that he's giving?
Oh, man.
He, like, went and sat on the floor in the corner, and I was
wasn't
sitting...
gonna sit on the bed with
I
her.
was sitting on my
Oh,
bed, and
you
I was
weren't?
like, you can come sit here. And he was like, no. And I was like, what? I just thought that was so crazy, because no guy had ever done that before.
Oh, the other guys
No
came
guys.
and sat on my bed.
Oh. Here we go. Don't be alone with someone in your bedroom.
Oh, the other guys came and sat on her bed. Not this one.
So you married this one. Okay?
Oh no. That's exactly what just happened there.
What is the point?
I don't know. This is great. Oh.
Okay, if you're always trying to hang out with your boyfriend or girlfriend alone, why?
What do you mean, why? What do you mean, why? It's fine.
Oh shit, this is getting into some weird repressed Jesus kinks. It is. It really is. This is
I mean, that's what most of them are going through.
I mean, so far their complaints are that you stay up late being intimate and talking to somebody over the phone about personal things, and that you want to.
That's a warning sign.
That's a warning sign, and that you want to spend a lot of time alone with somebody you like. Like, that is their complaints.
Horrible sinner.
I know, right? Like, that is their complaints right now, is that people want to spend alone time with people that they like without anyone else there, and that they talk on the phone too late at night talking about personal stuff.
And these are warning signs.
This is
for
what's
a
wrong.
bad turn in your relationship.
Yeah. And if you're
for
doing these things, you're
doing
probably not
something
being
wrong.
pure. Yeah, you're not being pure.
Okay. Do they realize that the more that they talk about it and they give their own personal stories of how this is what happened with us, it didn't end badly for you, though. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But your whole question of purity, this whole, concept of I'm clean, I'm pure, no man has ever touched me in certain areas for some people, then it's just, why? Don't you understand that you guys, if you really had gotten intimate before you were married, it's not a bad thing. I mean, unless it was without consent, or if you were doing it without the proper information, like knowing about protection, knowing each other's boundaries. If you weren't doing right, then yeah, then it's not, that's not good. But come on, just doing it? What is...
Yeah, no, I see what I mean.
All this back and forth is giving me whiplash.
I don't think they have sex. Even in their marriage, I don't think they have sex. Genuinely
Maybe they just
don't.
wait until she's not ovulating.
Yeah, or they're one of those couples. They might potentially be one of those couples
They
that do it
could.
once a month.
They could, because contraception, yeah, it was kind of a... For some people, it's like, yeah, of course you would use contraception when you're married.
Yeah.
Of course you would. And then they're like, no.
No, why would you? Why would you
it's spilling
prevent
your
God's
seed.
plan or whatever? Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard that, and I've heard people say it's against God's plan to use contraception, because if God wants you to have a baby, you'll have one.
Yeah.
Of course, he's all powerful and could make the contraception fail. That would actually be more like
use whatever contraception you want,
Yeah,
but if he wants you to have sex, he's going to make it fail anyway.
Yeah.
Then
so
why?
Yeah.
Why even test it?
yeah,
I don't know.
it makes no sense, I guess, either way, because You either use all the contraception and God's going to get you pregnant regardless of how much contraception you do because he's all powerful and can do that.
And you can't go against his will either way.
Yeah, or he wants you to have no children, in which case you can have like all the unprotected sex you want, and you would ever get anyone else pregnant unless it's part of his plan. This is what happens when we have an all-powerful being who can do whatever he wants, because then everything that happens in your life is part of God's plan, and you can't really go against it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We demand to see cats.
I don't know where they are.
I don't know where they are either.
They're not here. They're probably both sleeping in the bedroom.
Yeah. At least if they don't, they also can't display if they do or don't have Munchausen syndrome by proxy. That's true. Okay.
What are you trying to do? And that's Satan trying to get you to be alone so that he can tempt you guys.
If you're in a relationship where you're kind of wondering, what purity boundaries should I make? Pray about what we're saying here, because we're not just...
Pray. See, there it is. The answer to all of your problems is pray.
Yeah. And they're not actually giving us advice. It's just follow your gut.
Follow your gut and pray.
And pray about it and whatever comes from that.
Do listen to us, but don't listen to us because...
Listen to God.
She's had more than one guy in her bedroom.
On her bed.
Deal on her bed. Oh, God. And that's where it ends.
Pulling these out of the sky, okay?
And it was not easy for us to follow these ridiculous boundaries, but it was absolutely worth it, guys. Absolutely worth it.
How would you know? Like, honest question, Morgan. How would you know that it was worth it? Like, at all, remotely? Oh, thank you, Caroline Clark, very much. It's not a lot, but I hope you get your computer. Oh, thank you very much, Caroline Clark. You will get a free set of boobs here soon, hopefully, if Streamlabs is working and it lags the shit out of my computer because this computer's super old. But thank you very much for your donation. Always appreciated. What was I saying? Something. Purity boundary. I know it's super loud.
God, that is loud.
I know. I'm not sure how to turn it down.
I don't know. But we were talking about how would you know that it was worth it?
Yes. How would you know that it was worth it? Because you haven't. So this is something. I think House said it the best. In a lecture reference House. Yeah, House.
Okay.
About like having sex with is like test driving a car. It's like how would she know that
it was better,
it was worth waiting
than before,
if she hasn't actually tried it with anyone else? Like, how does she know that?
The only way that you could feel that is if you were told, no, it's going to be terrible before marriage, but afterwards somehow it's magically just better. And then it's the whole the fear inside you that says, well, I can't do anything before marriage. But afterwards, I'm much more relaxed because I've been told that this is better. Mm-hmm. That's the only way that I can see where you would think that it's better, because you're more relaxed because you've been pressured to wait. Yeah. But when we had sex for the first time, and of course if we were not married, sex is great, but I was just like, okay, what is the big deal then? This is great, but this isn't like the life-changing, miraculous feeling that I thought I was supposed to be having when it was with my husband, when I was supposed to have it for the first time. It's great and all, but it's nothing miraculous. It's nothing life-changing. I just like, well, that was a huge build-up for something that I thought I was going to be, seeing stars or something like that. But it was just a lot different, and it was great, obviously.
Thank you.
But the whole build up, what I was envisioning, it was just no. Yeah. This is not. I'm not feeling the presence of anything miraculous at this point.
All right. Hi, Bluigi. How's it going? Sorry, I was letting the lady finish her sentence. Yeah, no, I don't. I really am very. Yeah, I guess I wasn't as religious as you were, but it was still very much so. Like, the whole thing is, I wonder why like what makes a difference between waiting and not waiting, like at all. Check your Twitter. I will.
There isn't.
Huh?
I don't think that there is.
Isn't Christian sex just lusting in your mind?
Oh, no,
It
I'm
is.
sorry.
Oh.
I wasn't talking about that. I was just, what is the difference? And like,
I really want to know.
The whole idea of virginity is a concept.
Yeah. No, that's true.
It's not something that actually like physically changes you.
Mm-hmm.
Which is what they make it out to be.
Yeah. No, it's true. I don't think you actually know that it is actually better to wait than not to wait, and what that difference is, besides the fact that you've been told that you should have. Yeah, because how would you know? Because you didn't actually get to try it the other way around. You didn't get to try it, according to you, at least, and I'm going to take your word on it.
I suppose I could say that, I've had sex with you before and after marriage, and it didn't become anything better or worse after. It's just, yeah, it's sex.
Sex is great, but have you ever chewed on Velcro?
Have you?
All right, we're almost
how about
done.
This? Start off early in your relationship. Talk about them. You might think that this other person, because they're a Christian, is on the same page. Talk about them, because they may not be. I would even say, like, write down the boundaries that you want to have. She wasn't super happy with how black and white and strict the boundaries that I...
She wasn't happy with how strict the boundaries were?
Yeah.
Okay.
So she obviously wanted to jump on it, and he didn't.
Or she wanted
Because,
to do,
again,
she
the
wanted
closeted
more.
gay idea is kind of popping up here. So I could see that.
in her work.
Yep.
Do you remember any of the ones that I sent you?
He was very specific, and so it was just kind of funny.
Get specific.
Yeah,
Don't be vague.
It was good that he was specific, because he just said things like, hands will not go below the waist.
I remember saying that.
Boobs are free game, though.
Aha! Aha!
That's what that means. Sorry, I had to translate the opposite of that, which is boobs are fine.
Yes,
There was some boob grabbing there. Mm-hmm. I mean, we did see earlier, and the staring down at her chest. He's a boob man. He's a boobs man. Oh, goodness.
Sue me. The more specific, the better.
Yeah, because if you're vague, then you're like, oh, well, we didn't really say that we couldn't do this.
Dude.
And then
Okay, I want to stop them about being vague, because, like, so far we have watched
only been
3
vague.
of your videos, and that's all you have been for 3 of your videos is vague. You have not been specific. So, God, you're such hypocrites. You are doing the same thing that you're telling people not to do, which is not at all surprising.
I mean, I really do think that they have their own idea of purity. I understand why they probably don't want to say it out loud, but if you expect your viewers to follow the same path that you did because you felt it was honoring the Lord, then why not give out that list, and why not tell people to be specific? Because if that's your end goal, for them to keep the idea of purity according to what you think it is, then you should be specific.
Yeah. But then they wouldn't have as many fans, because they'd have more people that disagree with them.
It's a broader crowd that they could reach out to if they were vague. I get it, but they
don't actually. So and maybe I'm being genuinely too harsh on them, but I don't genuinely think that they care as much about being good, role models or Christians or whatnot. I think they care more about the fame / money that you get from doing YouTube stuff. Mm-hmm. I think they care more about that, and so they'd rather protect their big group and throw a big, wide net to capture as many as they can, than to actually be specific and potentially have some of their followers stop listening to them because their followers don't agree with them on how specific they're being. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. Maybe I'm being too harsh on them, but I think that's more what they care about. They care more about the YouTube fame, money than anything else.
It's kind of funny to me, though, because if they've already got that outlined for themselves, they don't really make much of a plan for their videos. So, they always seem like they just jump right into it without any real plan. it's just funny to me that it all seems unplanned, and yet they've already got the idea of who they want to reach out to and how they're going to do it.
Well, you know. Yeah.
But you're probably right, though.
I don't know. That's how I think of it. I don't know.
I mean, it looks like it because, again, they're super vague.
They are super vague because that's how you get the most amount of people to jump onto your crazy Christian bandwagon.
Mm-hmm.
The line gets crossed.
Guys, we see so many young people with good intentions fall into impurity with their boyfriend or girlfriend, and we do not want that. We're here to fight against it. All right, so a challenge to you men. You are the leaders in the relationship. Set up the boundaries. Make them clear.
Ladies, submit to those boundaries.
No. Hey, okay. You're supposed to only submit to your husband, not to your boyfriend. You don't have to submit to your boyfriend, even if it is him outlining, you know, what the boundaries of your physical part of your relationship. But that's definitely, I have to say, that is something that definitely was taught to me when I was in college. Was, yeah, in marriage, yeah, you submit to your husband, but no, you don't submit to them if they're just your boyfriend. Why would you tell women to submit to their boyfriends in this context? I mean, the only way that I can see you thinking that this is okay is because one party in the couple is outlining boundaries. Maybe it's because they don't want you to be touching their crotch. I don't know, but that in that case, yeah, that's fine. But don't call it submission. Call it, what would you call it? Just agreeing with it, going along with it, accepting it. What is the word? I want to treating
your partner like
an equal, like a person with values and their own boundaries. Yeah, that's cool, but don't call it submission. Don't do that. You know, this is at least even if I don't want to say that you should be submitting to your husbands, you should be in an equal relationship. But when you're dating, oh no, it is not that sort of dynamic. Yeah. But the thing is that I do remember when I was in that group that, you know, you do in some ways like set the dynamic for the relationship, even with submission and leadership. So again, totally vague, totally back and forth and different perspectives of this whole thing with Christians. But God damn, you don't tell someone to submit to your boyfriend. Yeah. You don't.
And so the other thing, so I think what probably they meant to say is, you know, if my guess, and I'm giving them way more of a benefit than I should, as they meant, like, if the dude doesn't want to go, you know, to whatever base, to third base or fourth base, or, you know,
sure, respect
that. I think that's, I want to say that that's probably what they were trying to say. But on the other hand, by saying, like, submit to it, the problem with that is also that if he's like, oh no, my boundaries are like home base, or, you know, or whatever, or way past hers, and she's supposed to submit to him, then you're pretty much telling the women in these relationships, you should go past your own personal boundaries on what you want to do.
I really hope that's not what she's saying.
I don't think that is, but I think
that's the problem, Morgan. You use the word submit. You shouldn't have used that word, because if your whole idea is that a woman is supposed to submit to the boundaries that their boyfriend has set, that's not the right word for it. You should have used a different word.
Compromise. Agree on.
Respect,
and even I would say this needs to be genderless. Respect your partner's boundaries.
Yes.
Like, that is much better advice than whatever stupid advice you have given, is respect your partner's boundaries. If your partner does not want to go there, don't force it, make them uncomfortable about it, peer pressure them into that. Respect your partner's boundaries, and that's way better advice than fucking submitting to your partner's boundaries. Like,
and again,
treat each other like adults.
You know, even if you're in your Christian view of marriage, and I get it, that's just how it's worded in the marriage, but you're talking about before marriage. Don't use the word submit. That's all I want to say.
Yeah. All right, I think that's the end of the video. I think that they're back subscribe and comment and all that.
They did?
I think that's where we're at.
I don't think so.
If they're not as strong as
maybe.
you'd like them to be, then you need to put your input in as well and
True.
be like, hey, or don't be afraid to add to it or make it even stronger. Mine were not
Okay.
as strong as his, but I'm very, very glad that I submitted to his.
Thanks, baby.
And it was worth it.
You'll get all the loving you need after you're married. Comment below with one topic or title of a video you'd like.
Yeah, so I think at this point they're
Okay.
their thing.
Huh. Wow. I'm so glad I married you.
Oh, thank you, sweetie. That is rough. All right, well, we finished 2 videos.
Hey.
I know, I never do that, so that's the thing. You are way more efficient at this thing than I am. So, with that, I think, thank you. After you're married, so they're not married after? No, I think they are married.
No, I think they are. I think I saw them in a wedding picture.
Yeah, no, I think they're married. Thank you very much for showing up, and thank you very much for joining. Big thank you to NANA for his donations. Thank you for Tofino for upping your pledge on Patreon. Thank you very much, and thank you. Oh, and NANA, thank you for becoming a patron. Thank you, Caroline, for your super chat, and thank you all for joining us today. This was a fun, very long video, but thank you all for joining us. We had a lot of fun hanging out with all of you. You all are awesome. We will see what was he wearing a Boy George hat? I don't know what he's wearing. I don't know.
It doesn't really look like there's an actual cap to it. It just looks like a big halo thing.
Looks weird. But yeah, no, thank you everybody. You all have yourselves a wonderful weekend. I will see you next week probably. I don't know if she will, but
I don't know. Don't know yet.
But I will see you all next week. Have yourselves a wonderful weekend and see you all next time.